Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Got to sneak in a little drink of water and some ice. Sorry about that, guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Oh, sorry about that. We had the noise canceling off on by accident. Welcome to the Strategic Eyes Show, guys. I got a really good show for you guys today. So last night I was watching Plunder, and she brought up, she actually posted what she said was a never before heard audio of an interview with one of Maddie's friends. And I realized that there's two videos that I wanted to redo. Number one, I never did a reaction and analyzed the interview with Maddie's friend. I think we just read it out. There was just a statement there. The other thing is we're going to reanalyze the interview with the psychologist. So that's going to be another show we're either going to do later on today or tomorrow. Probably later on today, guys, because tomorrow I have to go handle some business. So I'm probably going to be a little bit busy for most of the day. When we first analyzed the interview with the psychologist, I think I got a little hung up on analyzing how the detective was actually interviewing her. I didn't like the style by which the detective was using. Got a little flack for that. A lot of people didn't like that for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm a professional, and I'm just basically critiquing another professional. And when you're a professional, you need to be able to take critiques. You need to be able to take criticism, right? So that's the standpoint that I looked at it. But I want to reevaluate it because I got so hung up on the way that the interview was being conducted. I didn't focus as much as I should have on the actual interview and what the witness was actually saying. So I want to go ahead, reanalyze that. We're going to be doing that probably later on today and probably later on tonight, because for my daughter's birthday, her birthday's coming up in the next few days. I actually booked with a Black Friday deal for us to go do indoor skydiving. This is going to be insane. I've never done it before. I'm not one of those people that like dangerous things. Supposedly it's not going to be too crazy, but we're going to be doing some indoor skydiving. So when we're done with that, later on tonight, I'll come back and we'll actually analyze the school psychologist and focus primarily on what she's saying and see if there's any red flags. So we're going to do that, and it's going to be a really good show. But today we're going to be analyzing what Maddie's friend said, because Maddie's friend is pretty much one of the last few people who actually saw Maddie alive. One of the last few people who was able to be with Maddie outside of the presence of Stephen Stearns. Remember, Maddie's going to act one way with Stephen Stearns and another way without Stephen Stearns, because Stephen Stearns is her abuser. Stephen Stearns is the person who is subjugating her. He's a person who is basically inflicting emotional trauma, psychological and spiritual trauma against her. So what this little girl has to say is very probative. I watched a lot of what Plunder put out last night, but then I fell asleep. It was really late when I was listening to it. So I know that he's going to ask questions about pregnancy again, guys, which is big and huge in this case. And we are proponents on this channel that it's possible that Maddie was either pregnant or they, as in Stephen Stearns and possibly Jen Soto, believed she was pregnant, or maybe even Maddie believed she was pregnant as well. Either way, pregnancy would be a motive. If she was killed because she was actually pregnant or killed because he thought she was pregnant, pregnancy is still the motive, even if she's not physically pregnant. It's all about the mens rea. What was in his mind is what matters, more so than what was actually happening physically. So once again, the detectives asked questions about her menstrual. So we're going to go through that. We're going to listen to it with a fine-tooth comb. We will be stopping every now and then, as much as needed, to analyze it. So if you want to hear it without interruption, you can go on Plunder's Patreon and you can get a clean version of this. I subscribe to Plunder's Patreon. I, through my membership, purchased a clean version of it, and I'm going to be analyzing it. I would never play this clean version on my channel without my commentary because I'm not the one who spent the money to get this. If you want to get a clean version, please go support Plunder. Join her Patreon. Get it from there. There's another reason why it's important to support these YouTubers like Plunder and The Docket and GHI and all these folks. Whether you like them or not is your business. I'm just giving you the facts. Reason why it's important to support these guys is Plunder also said in a video that she just recently did that the sheriff's department or the police department, one of the two, is trying to charge her $11,000 to get the massive document dump with Stephen Stern's phone information, his call logs, possibly text messages. It might just be a Cellbrite dump. That's what I believe. It's not what Plunder said, but I believe the reason why it's 50,000 pages is because it is a Cellbrite dump. That right there will basically solve the case for us, in my opinion. If we get our hands and we get access to that document dump, 50,000 pages, I guarantee you it is going to be incriminating text messages between him and Maddie. We know that. But possibly between Stephen Stearns and Jen Soto. Because nothing is deleted from a phone. Nothing. Nothing is deleted from a phone. So it's very expensive to get these files, to get these FOIA requests. The only way we're going to get it is if you support these YouTubers so that they can afford to go and put out that kind of crazy money to get this stuff for the general public. So we're going to be going through this. I appreciate you guys for joining me. You guys are amazing. Big shout out to Amelia, who's a 3-month member of the Strategic Eyes Show on the recruit level. Thank you so much for being a 3-month member. You are amazing. Let me see here if there's anything else before I start this show. All right. Last thing, we got 146 people in here so far. Please set the tone because we're going to get more people coming in as we move on the show. Set the tone. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Support the channel. The like button is worth more than any super chat. It's worth more than anything. The like button and a comment is what gets us into the algorithm so that our show can be seen by a wider audience. We are in a growing phase. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Right now, we're at 77,000 and change. 77,000 and change. We're trying to march to 100,000 subscribers. So if you appreciate what we're doing here, an active duty sex crimes detective, my bills get paid from solving sex crimes every single day that I'm not on YouTube. Sometimes the days I'm on YouTube too. If you appreciate the fact that we're coming here to give you guys inside information on how these investigations are done and my opinion from an investigative mindset, you appreciate that, support the channel, hit the like, put a comment inside of the comment section, even if it's just hi or I'm from Nebraska, and share this with your friends and family. That's what we need to grow. Thank you, guys. All right, so without further ado, let me go ahead and adjust everything on my end so we can definitely get a nice viewing experience. Let me put my phone on vibrate so you don't hear the buzzing in the background. And once again, big shout out to Plunder. This audio was obtained from her Patreon. Please go subscribe to the Patreon and support her channel. Let's do it.
Start this. The date is March 13th, 2024. The time is 4 p.m. We are at Morris, Detective Kaluskin, and this is in reference to case number 24001896. If you don't mind, I'm just going to set this down here because I know you talk kind of soft, and so I can capture what you say. So like I said previously before we started the recording, I'm here and I'm the lead detective that's investigating the case for Maddie. Okay. I know you spoke to Orange County detectives in the past. Mm-hmm. Some were all right, some were not so pleasant, according to your father. So I'm going to do my best to be as. I'm in a house right now with my wife and 3 daughters, so I kind of know how to talk to females and stuff like that. So I just have a few follow-up questions from when you spoke to Orange County Detective Payne, I think his name was. Did you go to the Maddie's birthday party on Sunday?
Yes.
Who else was there with you as our friends?
Me and Emily.
Emily?
Yeah.
Do you know Emily's last name?
No.
Does she go to your school?
Yes.
What grade is she?
7th.
7th? Any classes with Maddie?
PE.
PE? You don't happen to have her phone number, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Do you mind giving it to me? Are you feeling better? Dad says you weren't feeling too hot yesterday.
Yeah, I'm feeling better.
All right, so anytime there's a pause, that's not me. For anybody who's listening to this on a podcast, I think we do have this set up as a podcast as well. Just know that it's just redacted. That's why there's a pause. All right, let's keep going.
All right, so you two were basically the only friends that were there at the birthday party. How was she during the birthday party? Was she outgoing, happy?
When Emily got there, she kind of changed her mood, but I was the first one of her friends to get there, but she was kind of on me for stuff. Like, she would kind of get mad at anything I asked.
What? What would you ask her that would make her mad?
There was like food there, and I didn't know what the food was, so I asked, and after like 3 times of asking, she got mad at me asking. Okay. We were playing red light, green light, and
so it seems like Maddie was very, very moody, and these are definitely telltale signs of somebody who has experienced trauma. And this is like a ongoing theme with most of her friends when they were interviewed in the school, etc. They'd always say that Maddie's emotions were all over the place, that she sometimes would be mean, and being mean is how she showed her love, etc., etc. These are all red flags that I think that the adults around her have missed. I know a lot of other YouTubers are much more forgiving of these folks, but, you know, maybe I'm just looking at it from a very cynical point of view, but I genuinely believe that there were too many red flags for people not to make reports, right? So, and I also believe this, and I think it was Plunder that I heard this from, so big shout out to her. You know, I only say people's name when I want to give them credit. So if I'm saying her name too much, it's because I'm giving her the credit that she deserves, right? But I believe it was her show, and if it wasn't her show who said that, then shame on me, and I got to figure out who said this comment. But I believe Plunder looked up the charges in Florida for what happens when a mandated reporter does not make a report. And I think this is important, and we're going to keep playing this audio. This is so important. If it's determined that mandated reporters, such as teachers, school counselors, and other people who are mandated reporters, did not report what happened to Maddie or to any other kid, they could be charged with a felony. So there's no incentive right now after Maddie's passing for any of these people to admit that they dropped the ball. Understand, if they admit that they dropped the ball, they open themselves up to criminal prosecution. So in other states, it's usually you lose your license, you lose your professional certification, or you get some type of discipline on your job. In Florida, you become a felon. So why would a school counselor or a teacher admit that they did not make timely reports on glaring signs of abuse and trauma from a child? Why would they admit that when that could mean that their life will literally be ruined? Not only would they be fired, but there's a chance that they could be criminally charged as well. So there might be an incentive to be to massage and be a little soft on the truth. I'm not calling anybody a liar. I'm just telling you my opinions here, guys. But there might be an incentive when you're being interviewed by detectives to maybe not talk about all of the signs of abuse that you may have witnessed, that you should have reported, but you didn't. So just keep that in mind. That's food for thought, ladies and gentlemen. Keep that in mind. Let's keep going.
She got mad because I wasn't standing in the correct spot, and it would just be about really little things.
Okay. I know. It's difficult for me to ask, but I have to ask because it might be important in the future. I know you shared with either Detective Payne or the other female that was speaking with you that you and Maddie kind of were maybe on the same cycle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. And in the interview with Detective Payne, you said that Maddie may have gotten her period later on.
Yeah.
Was that in February or January?
January.
January. Okay. Did you, the female that was speaking with you, that you and Maddie kind of were
It
made?
would just be about really little things.
Okay. I know it's difficult for me to ask, but I have to ask because it might be important in the future. I know you shared with either Detective Payne or the other female that was speaking with you that you and Maddie kind of were maybe on the same cycle.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay. And in the interview with Detective Payne, you said that Maddie may have gotten her period later on.
Yeah.
Was that in February or January?
January.
January. Okay. Did you two discuss at all about February's?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Because I think you also mentioned to him when she doesn't get it, she's kind of moody.
Yeah.
Or
All right, two things. Number one, it's gonna start getting really noisy. Yard work happening out there. You know, in New York State, they pass a law, I believe, that in like 2 or 4 years, you can't buy any, motorized yard stuff. It has to be electric for the simple fact of this: noise pollution. I live in the burbs. During the week, 9 a.m., it's like, oh, so you're going to hear a lot of stuff in the background. Try your best to listen to it. Big shout out to Sam I Texas with a $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. Says #1 fan. Remember, we don't have fans on the Strategic Eyes Show. We're all family. I have no fans. I'm just a dumb cop. That's it. I'm a dumb copper. I'm not special. We're all family. I appreciate you, Sammy. You are amazing for supporting the channel. All right, let's keep going.
okay. Did it appear that way when January?
Go back a little bit.
Okay. Did you two discuss at all about February's?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Because I think you also mentioned to him when she doesn't get it, she's kind of moody.
Yeah.
Or okay. Did it appear that way when you guys were at the birthday party or the weeks leading up to it?
At the birthday party.
She did. Okay. She seemed.
Of course, I didn't know that last time.
Yes, exactly. So I'm gonna scoot a little closer.
I mean, they got to have the window open. All right. There's no way that it sounds that loud and the windows are closed. So they definitely have the window open. So I don't know. Also, in the beginning of this, I think I missed it because I was setting up. But I believe in the beginning is when he talks about the bad experience that she may and the father may have felt they had with the previous detectives. Now, I vaguely remember that interview. I don't know if we ever reacted to it. I don't think that the detective was being, we read it. I think it was a written interview. I don't know what was said, but I know that he wanted the daughter to go into his patrol car so he can record the interview because it was too noisy and he maybe didn't want the father around. I just got to say, some of the most difficult people to do interviews in front of when it comes to minors is fathers. It's fathers, especially if the minor has been a victim of a crime, because the father feels helpless that they could not protect the child in the first place. So then they try to make up for it throughout the process. And I get that. I'm not saying this in a denigrating way. I get it. I understand it's all psychology. It's human nature. But in the process, they start to actually infringe upon your investigation and making it more difficult for you. Because the victim is like, sure, yeah, we could go talk here. Or yeah, I have no problem talking without my parent. You always want to have that conversation without a parent to the best of your abilities. It's the parent's right to say, no, I want to be there. But you always want to have it without the parent because the children are going to be afraid to talk in front of the parents, especially when it's talking about sex. So I don't know, based off of my experience, I don't know how much of a problem the detective actually was, juxtaposed with how much annoyance the father was bringing to the investigative process. That's based off of my experience. Like, I don't know if this Detective Payne was really mean to the daughter and the father. I think it was just probably the father being a pain because that's what usually happens. Anyway, and mothers are the best to work with. They usually are. The mothers are usually, do what you got to do to get this bad guy off the streets. The mother's usually like, I'm going to get out the way. You do your job. And I appreciate that, but it's human nature. It's not putting guys down or fathers down or anything like that. Let's keep going.
So during the birthday party, she seemed to act kind of the way she would if she didn't get a period.
Yeah.
Or she would. Okay. Did she say anything else was bothering her during her birthday party?
No. Yeah. Oh yeah, she had told her friends like literally like she told all of us like the day before her party. So she was mad that no one could make it because everyone was like out of town or like
Okay.
they couldn't make it.
And she was upset at that.
Yeah.
Okay. In going through Maddie's text messages, you guys appear to have a group text going between you and a few other people.
Yeah.
Okay. She asked you about dates for NPAs.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you still have those text messages in your phone?
Right.
Maybe. And the reason I'm asking is because it looks like when she asked for the dates for the NPA, either.
The thing I went to Monday. Oh, okay.
All right. So they're talking about some MPA or MPA thing. You know, I don't know what it is. Whoever's with him asks, I don't know if it's the mother or if there's another detective with this detective. They ask, what is an MPA? It appears that she may have explained what an MPA is, but I don't know. You know, I couldn't hear it. I think I vaguely remember from Plunder last night, because remember, I fell asleep halfway through her presentation, that it might be some type of musical school test or something like that. This is like the last thing I remember before I fell asleep. So I don't know if they further expand on it, but somebody says no parents around. I don't really know. It could be that. I think Plunder was talking about some type of school test for music, and Maddie was in chorus. She was into music in her school, so maybe this was a test she had to take. I don't know, but very hard to hear. Let's keep fighting with it.
And it seems like either nobody replied or those messages did go through on her phone. So the MPA, I don't want to scroll through it. Is the MPA conversation before this or after?
She said it right here.
And that's regarding the MPAs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it doesn't look like there was too many conversations after that, if any. Yeah, I just want to kind of. I'm just going to scroll down to the bottom of the. Oh. How do I get that?
Let's go all the way down.
Yeah, go to the very last message that you had that Maddie would have been a part of. Like my kids, scroll forever.
Yes, lots of talking.
Oop.
What was that?
All right, I don't know. I don't know if this is because Maddie asked specifically in a text message. Do you know the date of NPA? Do you have-
Yeah, I'm more leaning towards this is some type of musical assessment, simply because she's asking, do you know the date of it? Like that doesn't jive with no parents allowed and no parents around. You know, it's like Why would you say what's the date of the MPA? It's either we having an MPA right now or not. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that you would ask for advance notice of. If you're talking about a time where there are no parents around that you guys could talk about what you want to talk about or do whatever you want to do. I think this is more aligned with some type of school activity, more aligned with what people are saying in the chat, and I think what Plunder alluded to, the music assessment. What somebody had in the chat? Let me see here. Music performance assessment. That more jives with it when you put the context of her asking, when is the date of it? It makes more sense. Let's keep going.
Do you have a lot of different group messages with Maddie?
Yeah.
So right now she's looking for the messages. I don't want to fast forward because this is not that long. It's not like we're going to be here for a long time. I think it's like 18 minutes, this interview. So I don't want to fast forward because I don't want to skip something. And they're saying like incidental things in between that might end up being probative. You never know. So bear with it. Right now she's looking for those messages. I assume that she's probably going to be done soon.
I forgot to mention, just for the record, Sage's mom is also present with this interview. Okay, that's fine. All right, going back to the birthday party. What time did you leave the party?
Picked you up like 7?
Yeah, so around 7. I got home at 7:15.
Emily left the same time.
Okay.
Because I saw Emily walk out. Her mother was already there. Her sister, someone was already there to pick her up, and then I
Picking up
stayed
Emily.
there.
Okay. Who all from Maddie's family was there? Was there a lot? Or?
Yeah, there was a lot. I can't remember.
Okay. Did Maddie say what time she was leaving the party to you guys, or what time she's gonna go home?
I had asked her when the party was gonna end before Emily had cake, and she was asking. And she said, I don't know, this party could last till like midnight or like 1 a.m.
Okay. Do you happen to know who took Maddie home?
I don't
Or did she even talk? Did she talk about it? Who was going to take her home?
I know what the person looks like. I don't know like how they're
Okay.
related to Maddie.
It was a family member.
Yes.
It wasn't her mom's boyfriend.
My mom's
Okay.
boyfriend was not at the party.
Okay. Did Maddie mention to you that he was going to be at the house when she got home, or anything like that? No. Did she mention to you about mom? Was mom working, or why wasn't mom at the party?
No, she didn't mention the mom at all.
Okay. Did she seem like she was upset at the mom? At her mom?
No, but I kind of figured that's why she was mad at like the
Okay.
party.
Because her mom wasn't there.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Now, I know you mentioned in also one of the interviews that every time, whenever you wake up, you always have messages from Maddie, regarding text messages.
Yeah.
And is that like on a daily basis, or okay?
Jeez, it's like these guys are literally choosing right in front of these folks' window. Like, how big is that lawn? Like, is it like 2 by 2, like 4 square feet or something like that? Like, come on. Wow. Well, we got two huge things. Number one, we know for a fact, we've known this for a while, but it's good to hear it from a witness's voice. We know that Stefan did not go to the party. We know that, all right? It's not breaking news, but we know Stefan didn't go to the party. She said she didn't see him there. We also know that Maddie might have been upset, but I think the little girl is assuming more than she has evidence of it, that she might have been upset that her mother did not make the party. Now, somebody in the chat made a comment and said that Veronica, who's the grandmother, is a liar because Veronica said that Maddie had so many gifts. I think that may not necessarily be true, because the young girl just said that a ton of people were there, but it was Maddie's family. So Maddie's friends didn't show up, but there was a big showing with her family. And listen, you know, I've hosted many a birthday parties. I got 3 kids. And what I've noticed is that friends don't bring gifts really like that. Like, little kids don't really bring gifts. They might bring cards, might have $20 in a card or something. Once in a while, like 1 out of every 3 friends might bring a gift, but for the most part, they just show up, okay? The gifts usually just come from family, right? So, especially she's 13 years old, what do you get a 13-year-old as a friend who's coming over? Like, 13-year-olds want expensive gifts. My 13-year-old wants expensive gifts. So another person's family is not going to spend $200-$300 on a gift for your best friend, all right? Maybe if it's your bestest friend in the whole wide world, maybe, but most of the time, no. So I can't say definitively that Veronica was not correct. I think Maddie did get a lot of gifts. I think a lot of people did come to her birthday party. As the friend has just said, it just wasn't the people that Maddie expected to come, which is her social group, her friend group from school. They're the ones that didn't turn out. But I think her biological family definitely showed out for her. So let's keep going.
What would those messages just be about? Random stuff, or good morning, or
She would just say like, hi, good morning, and she'd send them to like Instagram and YouTube stuff.
okay. And from what I understand, she didn't send you a message that morning, Monday morning. And as long as you've known Maddie, have you known anyone other than her mother to take her to school?
No. Other than her grandparents.
Other than her parents, okay. Have you ever met this guy, her mom's boyfriend?
I went over to her house like once or twice and he was there. I met him in person once.
Okay. Did she ever talk about him?
I knew she was on call.
All right, I'm going to go back a little bit because I read the chat and it kind of threw me off, so I want to hear, and it's so distracting with the lawnmowers in the background. But people are saying that the friend's mother said there was 1 gift. Well, if that's the case, then I guess there was not that many gifts. It is what it is. So we'll revisit when we get there. I don't know. So whatever it is what it is. Whether she had gifts or she didn't, it's sad. It is what it is. But I'll concede because I don't know. If you guys are saying that the friend's mother is saying that there was only 1 gift there, I get it. Let's move on. I'm going to bring it back just a little bit because I didn't really hear it. It's so distracting, and especially it's probably distracting for you guys, but I've got these headphones on. There's no way I can hear any of this audio without the headphones, and it is horrible listening to those lawnmowers with these headphones on. And it doesn't, and if I put the volume down, then I won't be able to understand what they're saying. So bear with me. So let's bring it back just a tad bit, and let's see if we can get through this again.
Okay. Have you ever met this guy, her mom's boyfriend?
I went over to her house like once or twice and he was there. I met him in person once.
Okay. Did she ever talk about him?
I knew she was on call with me a lot, and I knew that she had told me that he'd moved out of like the house.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I had asked to hang out with her, and we had made plans like a week or two before.
Mm-hmm.
And then the day of, I wake up to a text message and it was like, hey, I can't, my stepfather's coming, and we're gonna hang out together for the day.
Okay.
Right. So this is classic abuser, classic manipulator, where they dominate your time, where they're constantly taking you away from your life. You see this not just in pedo cases like this, but also with adults, also in abusive relationships as adults, where the spouse, the girlfriend, most often it's the girlfriend, but it does happen to men too. When you have an overbearing, abusive woman, it does happen, but it's much rarer. It's much more prevalent in the dynamic between the man being the abuser. But anyway, they dominate your time. They take you away from your obligations. They take you away from your plans, right? So if I call wifey up right now and I'm like, hey, I want to take you out to dinner on Friday. If she tells me, hey, I already made plans to go out with my colleagues or whatever, I'm not going to compete. You know, like we could go another day. I'm not going to tell her, no, you have to cancel your plans with your colleagues because you're my woman. No, you know, that's abusive, right? So she has plans with her friends, What does Stephen Stearns do? Does he work with her and work around her plans? No. Makes her cancel her plans so that she can spend time with him. Just like he dominated her time on the phone, constantly texting her, FaceTiming her. That's why there's not going to be as much records as one would imagine there would be between him communicating with Maddie, in my opinion. I don't have access to those files. I don't know. So my opinion can change once I see the evidence. The evidence that hopefully we'll get our hands on, but Plunder and the rest of them are saying it's going to cost $11,000. So I don't know if they're going to be shelling out that kind of money for us to get that evidence. But I imagine we're going to get a lot of stuff, absolutely. But we're not going to get as much as we could have gotten because Stephen Stearns, I believe, FaceTimed her more than anything. And I think another reason why he was probably FaceTiming her is because you can get people to do untoward things on FaceTime. And I believe that his abuse also extended over the phone. So when he wasn't there, I believe he was still abusing her. That's honestly what I believe based off of my experience. This is the type of psychology these kind of guys have. It's not going to stop. And because he's out of that house, he's going to make every excuse to keep coming back to the house to abuse Maddie. Hence, he's receiving Amazon and eBay and other packages to Jen Soto's house, even though he's allegedly staying 3.5 hours away at his parents' house. His parents aren't thieves. His parents aren't, I don't know, whatever else you could fill in the blank. They're not going to take his packages. They're not going to, they didn't even look like they lived in a densely populated area. So I don't know if they even had to worry about neighbors or cretins off of the street stealing their packages. What would be the reason why you would have your packages sent to Jen Soto's house when you're living in Northport rather than just have those packages sent to Northport? Unless, of course, you needed a reason to keep going back to Kissimmee. Keep going back to Jen Soto's house. And guess what? Jen Soto's such a dundu, as we say in the islands. That's an island word. Dundu means a dummy. Jen Soto is such a dundu that, of course, even if she's not with him, if he's going to come up there to get packages or for whatever other reason or excuse he makes to come back up there, Jen Soto's the type that's going to be like, all right, you can stay a couple of days. You can stay a couple of days. It's okay. And now what happens? He gets access to the child. When somebody says doo-doo, it's not doo-doo. It's doon with an N at the end. Doon-doo. And doon is the first one and do is the last part. So a doon-doo. But yeah, it's an idiot. That's what it means in Dominican island talk. But anyway, she's definitely the type that would say, okay, well, you're coming up here, so you might as well stay a couple of days because guess what? That's a couple of days that she doesn't have to deal with Madeline Soto because guess what? Madeline Soto was never her priority. We could clearly see that from the things that Jen Soto did and the decisions and the actions that she took. Her priority was sleep and drugs. Let's keep going. And not illicit drugs, but the drugs that was prescribed to her by her doctors. Let's keep going.
Did she seem like she had a good relationship with him?
Yeah, they seem pretty tight. They seem really close.
Okay. Did she ever mention anything that may have been weird to you?
All right, I'm bringing back a little bit, but I do want to answer one more question. Angie Mort says maybe he didn't want his parents to know he was getting packages. If they know he has money, they'll question where he got it. Number one, I don't think that Stephen Stearns really cared about what his parents thought about him, to be honest with you. I mean, if you listen to his parents and the interviews that they gave, they constantly said that he had a very bad attitude that made them scared at times. So that's number one. But number two, if you look at the math, right, because Stephen Stearns believes he's the smartest guy in the room anyway. If you look at the math, the amount of money it costs for Stephen Stearns to drive out there to Kissimmee, it would make more sense for him, A, to have the packages sent to a friend's house, which may or may not have been possible, or B, to get a P.O. box at the local post office. It would have made much more economical sense to do a P.O. box than to spend the gas it took to drive 3.5 hours one way. That's almost 6 hours round trip to get to Kissimmee and back. So I don't know. What you're saying could be correct. Absolutely. It's definitely a viable theory, but it just doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's bring it back just a tad bit. And let's keep going.
Hang out together for the day.
Okay. Did she seem like she had a good relationship with him?
Yeah, they seem pretty tight. They seem really close.
Okay. Did she ever mention anything that would maybe been weird to you about him or mom?
Other than that, they were like really close and that they were like always on call.
Okay.
Like when me and Maddie were on call, she was either on call with her sister or him.
Okay. With whose sister?
Her sister.
Oh, Maddie's sister.
Yeah.
Okay. Could that be her?
So that's good. She had a good relationship with her stepsister, and I really like that she had another female that she could talk to and just unload, some of that stress on. And I like that. And too bad she didn't outcry with that little girl, but certainly I'm happy to hear that she had a good relationship with the stepsister. So we also hear if Maddie's not on the phone with this little girl and Maddie's not on the phone with her stepsister, then she's on the phone with Stephen Stearns. She's on the phone with Stephen Stearns. He dominated her time, ladies and gentlemen, dominated her time. Classic predator behavior.
Half sister?
I guess.
Do you know her name? If I said her name?
No.
Okay. All right. I think that's gonna be. I just needed some things clarified about the party, but she was definitely upset at the party.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you feel that she was upset at anybody in particular, or just upset in general?
Upset in general, kind of.
Okay. Was she crying or anything like that?
No.
Tell her what she would do. Tell them what she did.
When I first got to the party, she got mad because I didn't have a gift.
Okay.
Which I had already given my gift to her at school, but she had said like, "Where's like the rest?" And I gave her like this really big bag of like full of stuff, and I was like, "What do you mean, where's the rest?" And she was like, "You said that there were gonna be like a whole bunch of stuff as like a joke, and then like, so where's the rest of the stuff?" And I was like, "This is it." So when I showed up to her party, she was like, "I barely got any gifts, and I was surprised I didn't get a gift from you." And I was like, "But I already gave you my gift at school."
All right, so that clarifies this. Maddie, from her own words, third party, of course, it's a little hearsay, but we're listening to this little girl, and we believe this little girl. She said, "I barely got any gifts." So that kind of puts that discussion we was having earlier to bed. Maddie said she barely got any gifts, and of course now she's trying to ask her friend where's the rest of the gifts. Please also keep into consideration that this is a little girl who has experienced a ton of trauma, so her actions may not be rational, may not be nice, all right? But let's keep it into full context that, number one, she's an immature little girl. She just turned 13 years old, and kids are going to do stuff like that, right? And number two, she's also a child that experiences trauma on a daily basis. So let's give her some grace in that the way she's acting with her friend is not kind, but there's reasons for that. And I think she has every right to not be kind, to make mistakes, because she is living an absolute hell. Her life is an absolute hell from the moment she was cognizant of herself. 6 years old is like when kids kind of start figuring out who they are, and you start seeing that beautiful personality come out of them. They start using big words when they talk and stuff like that. I'm going through that right now. I got a 6-year-old. Just turned 6. He's using big words now. He's talking like a scholar now. It's like almost like night and day from when he was 5. 6 years old is when that blossoming happens, right? I believe, there's no evidence of it yet, but I believe that she has been groomed and or abused since 6 years old. The evidence shows that she was ex-abused since 8 years old. There are pictures and videos of that specific abuse since 8 years old. So this child, in my opinion, has been going through bloody hell. We're gonna talk like we're British people now. She's been going through bloody hell since she was 6 years old. So please give her some grace. I just had to say that because what this young lady is saying is a little heartbreaking that they had this interaction, but I want you guys to have context for it, okay? Let's keep going.
So, and then at the end of like the party, like when me and Emily were like leaving, she got mad at me because they didn't like shake all of like her family members like hands to like say goodbye, which I kind of was like, "Oh, bye," and then like I left, and then as I was like crossing the street and stuff, she got mad. She was like, "I always get in trouble after you leave because you don't say goodbye to everyone." And I was like, I say goodbye. I just don't say it very loud.
What did she always have these kind of mood swings, I guess you could say, call them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, that last part is not Maddie's fault. That's the pettiness of her family. In that some people are like that. Some people, you know, they're very stuck on traditions, very stuck on formalities. Here's a little child, a 12, 13-year-old. They're leaving. They're not saying bye to every single person. Shaking great-great-grandma's hand, auntie hand, cousin hand. Hey, everybody, I'm leaving. Some people take that personally, like, oh, you come in our house, you eat our food, and you don't even say bye when you're leaving. Come on, man. Some people are like that, though, you know. There's virtues to it, and then there's not. You know, the virtue is we do want people to grow up with class, but at the same time, you got to give little kids a little space to make mistakes. So I think she basically said it. I always get in trouble every time you leave and you don't say goodbye. I think that that's Maddie basically talking about, you know, the pressure that's on her for her guest actions. So I'm going to give Maddie some grace on that as well. Let's keep going.
Because I know... Did she ever talk about her sleeping habits? Like, would she go to bed late, go to bed early, sleep in late, get up early?
I know if she was like sick or something, she'd go to bed early, but she'd sleep in her mom's room.
Okay.
But other than that, she'd stay up pretty late.
Okay. All right. One last difficult question. Do you think her mom would hurt her for any reason?
I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. And I'm not going to ask you about him because you don't know him. Is there anything that you can think of, since we're probably not going to be talking again, that you think I should know that about Maddie or anything that has to do with that household?
I know that they have roommates. She told me that he moved out and that they got a new roommate. I don't think I can think of anything else.
Okay.
All right, so I don't know how much of that is true because I don't believe that they ever got a new roommate for bedroom number 4. I believe that when Jen Soto was interviewed by police, she said that her sister lived with them, but that was a lie. Her sister did not live with them. Very interesting stuff. Somebody said, okay, I'm going to check my email right now. Give me a second. Before we get back into this, guys, please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Support the channel. We got 430 people watching this stream right now. That's a lot of people. All right, it's a lot of people, and we appreciate the support. You guys are amazing. But please hit that like button. Support the channel. The best way you can is just hitting that like button, okay? I'm going to go check my email while we continue to play that.
It's like weird or anything other than the whole roommate thing.
Gotcha.
Her phone is, I'm telling you this, so if there's anything that you need from her phone, we have to go get her phone fixed. For some reason, it's not letting her do, it's not saying there's a phone number on it anymore. It just keeps wanting to do the email address and we can't get it back. So we've got to take it. So, but I don't know if we take it. We've been holding off on taking it until after you talked to her because I didn't know that if we redid it, we were afraid she might lose messages.
Gotcha. If you could do me a favor, and they'll probably ask you when you go to the phone store. I see you have an iPhone. If you could back it up to your Apple iCloud.
Yeah.
Because they're going to ask that anyways.
Okay.
They may be able to assist you in backing it up. I don't think I will, but in the slight chance I may need, because we have Maddie's phone and stuff like that. So we have a lot of the messages already. It's just that one message was concerning where she asked the date for MPAs, but nobody replies after that. And that's the reason I was kind of needing clarification on that sort of thing.
Was that because nobody knew?
Nobody knew the date, and then
Is that why you didn't answer?
yeah.
All right, so since I was going to wait till the very end to address this, but since they're talking about it now, I will just address it right now. Give me a second. Big shout out to Foxy Amazon. I love when guys do this, by the way, when I get updates real time. I can't see my chat right now, guys, because it's being covered by the thing I'm about to pull up. So I really do appreciate it. I love when people real time. What's going on here? There we go. Got it. I just opened multiple instances of it. Give me a second. Perfect. We'll just do this one right here. Put this down. Here we go. All right. So this puts that to bed. MPAs is the musical thingamajiggums. We are so proud of our friends at Freedom High School course for their performances as district and state MPAs. So this is the MPA thing, the State Musical Performance Assessments. All right, and this is Hunters Creek Middle School chorus. There's one more that was sent to us by Foxy Amazon. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. This one gives a little bit more detail. Okay. And here we go. Hunters Creek Middle School chorus. What a beautiful evening of music making. Congratulations to the second and third period on their incredible MPA performances on Monday, March 11th. Special thanks to Cypress Creek Choir for hosting and assisting us today. So the MPAs, ladies and gentlemen, was in fact a musical assessment performance. So that's what she wanted to know. She wanted to know when was the MPA so she could be prepared for her musical assessment performance. Thank you so much, Foxy Amazon, for showing that love. Let's go ahead and get this audio back up. It's almost done. Very probative stuff. Let's keep going.
It makes sense. If you do happen to think of something that we didn't talk about or something that just pops in your head, let mom or dad know. I gave him my card yesterday. Unless you want me to give you another one?
No, I'm sure he's
Okay.
got it.
Please feel free to reach out to me. Then I can communicate through you so we don't have to bother her. Because I know this is a very traumatic
Yes.
incident, you know.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that Sage has been talked to a few times already. It's just when a juvenile is involved and they have a best friend like Sage, that's the reason why. Because best friends know everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, they know a lot more than parents and stuff like that. So I want to apologize. I don't know what happened with Orange County detectives. We don't work with them. But I know your husband was very upset yesterday when I came. And I hope I can kind of smooth that over. But
No, you did great. It was the line of questioning and some of the words that she didn't know, and then having to explain what some of the words meant was something we didn't really want to have to go through.
Right.
So, I will say that when she came home from the birthday party, she was upset because Maddie was on her about everything. Sage doesn't like guacamole. She got mad at her for not eating the guacamole. She was mad about everything. They went outside and played. She got a water hose and was she was very angry. She was mad there weren't a lot of presents. This is all the stuff she came home and told us.
Gotcha.
She was mad because family members weren't there, and Sage's birthday is the beginning of February, and she'd been building it up all month, and on her birthday it's going to be a really big event, and all this family's coming in, and then they didn't.
Right.
So she was very upset. So I mean, she's kind of breezed over it a little bit, but that was when she came home, that's what she told us.
Gotcha.
And there was this whole table, and there was one gift on it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there weren't a lot of gifts. So, I saw an interview with the grandmother saying, there were all these gifts and all these people, and that's not what was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but my question is, did she see that herself though? I'm not in any way defending the grandmother. I don't know the grandmother. My thing is it? Are you listening to what your daughter's saying? Did you see it yourself? I'm inclined to believe the daughter more than the grandmother, but at the end of the day, it is hearsay what the mother's saying. So I'm just trying to keep an open mind to it. That's all. The grandmother says there's a lot of gifts. She's saying there's only one gift. I don't know. Could the gifts have been in a different room? I don't know. I have no idea. But all I'm saying is that did this mother actually see for herself the gifts? Or is she just going off of what her daughter has told her? And once again, I'm inclined probably to believe the daughter more than the grandmother, simply because the family, this family is very shady to a certain extent, right? But I still got to give the grandmother grace. How do you know? You don't know. You were not there. Maybe the gifts were in the bedroom or something. In my family, we like hiding gifts and surprising you with them. So there's no table with a ton of gifts. Like my son's birthday, he had one gift on the table, but he ended up with 20 gifts. Like not literally 20, but a lot of gifts and some big ticket gifts. I got him the VR goggles. He used them one time and he don't use them no more. So I guess I got me a VR, a MetaQuest 3S. I just bought me a MetaQuest 3S because he looked, oh, Dad, this is crazy. And he don't use it no more. So But these gifts weren't on the table. We got them as the night went on and surprised them and let him do his thing. That's what we do in our household. So I'm inclined to say, so if a friend come over and is like, oh, another thing is we don't give all their gifts out when the kids are around because we don't want them to feel bad. You know, we've already experienced where like cousins have felt bad and like, oh my God, you know, where's my gift at, you know, or whatever. You know, other kids from other families come in, you know, maybe they don't have the same means or whatever, and now you bringing out these big ticket gifts, you know, whatever, and then people feeling jealous. So what we'll do is some of the gifts that might be a little extravagant, we'll do that privately. So once again, if you came to the party, you may see just a few gifts, but that's not all the gifts that the kid got. That's just the gifts we wanted to put out there in front of all his or her friends, you know, to have a good time. But some gifts are personal. You know, some gifts you don't want to put out there for everybody. Some gifts, you know, maybe you don't want people to feel bad that this person got this gift. I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head. All I'm saying is I need to know if the mother witnessed this herself when she went and picked up the daughter, if she's even the one that picked up the daughter, or is it simply what the daughter's reporting to her that she saw with her own eyes? Anyway, let's keep going. In fact, I'm going to bring it back again. It's almost over. It's only like a couple seconds left. I just want to bring it back and let the mother talk one more time, see if I didn't miss anything.
She was mad because family members weren't there, and Sage's birthday is the beginning of February, and she'd been building it up all month, and on her birthday, Sage doesn't like guacamole. She got mad at her for not eating the guacamole. She was mad about everything. They went outside.
And smooth that over, but
No, you did great. It was the line of questioning and some of the words that she didn't know, and then having to explain what some of the words meant was something we didn't really want to have to get.
All right, so did they record? Is there a recording of that initial interview? Because I don't remember ever going over it. I'd like to go over that initial interview by Detective Payne. Is it just written? Because I believe I read it. But did they do an audio recording of that initial interview? Anybody know? Let me know in the chat, because I want to listen to that interview again. Even if I don't review it, which I most likely would like to, I'd at least like to listen to that interview again. But I know in my mind's eye that I read it, but I don't remember if I heard it. So let me know, guys, because you guys are on it. Let me know if this was a recorded interview that Detective Payne did. Let's keep going.
Go through.
right.
So, I will say that when she came home from the birthday party, she was upset because Maddie was on her about everything. Sage doesn't like guacamole. She got mad at her for not eating the guacamole. She was mad about everything. They went outside and played. She got a water hose and was she was very angry. She was mad there weren't a lot of presents. This is all the stuff she came home and told us.
Gotcha.
She was mad because family members weren't there, and Sage's birthday is the beginning of February.
All right, so there's Lemon Lime says it was recorded, Aki, so we got to find that. We're going to find that, and if we find it and I have time, it's already 12 o'clock, we might come back and we'll do that. If Aki could find it during this live, then we'll just keep going and we'll review that audio as well. So, Aki, get to work. Let's do it. Or if any one of you guys have it, email me the link and we'll keep this live going and we will listen to that original interview. So get to work. Let's see what you guys got.
She'd been building it up all month, and on her birthday it's going to be a really big event and all this family's coming in, and then they didn't.
Right.
So she was very upset. So I mean, she's kind of breezed over it a little bit, but that was when she came home, that's what she told us.
Gotcha.
And there was this whole table, and there was one gift on it.
Oh, wow.
So there weren't a lot of gifts. So, I saw an interview with the grandmother saying, oh, there were all these gifts and all these people, and that's not what was
Gotcha.
portrayed when she was there, unless that happened after.
Right. Okay. All right. But like I said, thank you for talking to me. Thank you also. We're going to conclude this interview. It is now 4.
All right, so that is that. Let me see if I could check Plunder and see if she has it. Let me bring the view back to me. Okay. Let's get this out of here. Let's see what we could do. You guys are amazing. So let's get this new video. Let's see if we can get this audio up there. From Plunder. Okay. Boom. Anybody know the date of that interview? We're crowdsourcing right now. Big shout out to DNA with a $4.99 super chat. Said, keep it up. We're crowdsourcing. What date was that interview? This is a second interview. There was an earlier one. Yeah, we know that. Plunder shared it. It was with a woman detective. Okay, so we know that this is a second interview. We're on to that. But you said that it was a female detective. So let me see here if we could find that. Yeah, I remember that one because I think we already reviewed that one maybe. Because no. That was a female detective interviewing the counselor. That's the one that I focus more on her investigative, her questioning style, her line of questioning. I didn't like it. So here we go. So if this was a female detective, the same one, I don't want to jump ahead. But I want to say this. I got a lot of flack for critiquing this female detective. And now you hear the parents saying they didn't like that female detective's interview style. But some people called me misogynistic simply for saying I did not like her style, as if her gender had anything to do with it. She's a professional. She's a pro. And I'm a pro, and I'm over here critiquing what she's putting out there into the universe, and people came for me, and now you hear the family saying, hey, we didn't like her investigative style. Come on, man. Come on. All right, let's look for this interview. I think Plunder did us a favor, and it's like in collections, so like playlists. So I'm searching right now on her Patreon. Please do go and sign up for her Patreon. It's definitely worth the money. I don't waste money. I do not waste money. I don't waste money, and I'm always looking for a deal. Like Black Friday, the MetaQuest 3S that I bought the cheapest one, the 3S. The 3 is the expensive one. I bought the 3S, the cheapest one, and they had on a fire sale for Black Friday, so I paid dirt cheap for it. Like, I get nice things, but I'm very careful with my money. I'm very frugal, and I'm always looking for a coupon and a deal. I would not subscribe to Plunder's Patreon if it was not worth it. Plunder's Patreon is worth it. So if you like true crime, you need to subscribe to her Patreon. I'm just saying, I'm not getting a cut out of whatever sales she get over there. I'm just telling you the truth. You do what you want with the truth. It's your life, your choices. All right, 501. Let's keep going. Jennifer Soto sees the photos. No commentary, no ads. Jennifer Soto, not evil. That was such an evil interview when she said it was not evil for him to sexually abuse her daughter. Wow. You guys remember that? No commentary, 3-1 interview. I felt so exposed. The 800-page document dump. Let's keep going. Sex stuff not evil. The 14-page. Okay, let's keep going. During the autopsy, doctor expressed, no, this is read the newly released PDFs here. Okay. Okay, Stephen Stern's mom and dad think Jennifer Soto caught Madeline Soto made pact with Stephen. That's that interview. Let's keep going. 9 raw audio interviews. Jennifer Soto, Stephen Stearns, Chris Stearns. Let's see here. I don't know if this is the one. All right, here are the 9 audio interviews I received directly from Orange County Sheriff's Office today, August 21st, 2024, that I've been listening to and uploading. Find links below. Let's see if she breaks down who's in these interviews. Below are the links. 2 interviews with Jennifer Soto, Stephen Stearns, Chris Stearns, Stephen's dad, and in one, you can briefly hear Deborah Stearns crying over the speakerphone in one of the interviews with Chris. Okay. Okay, so that's not it. Stephen's mom screamed Maddie Soto's name outside her house. It's not that one either. Stephen's mom, I'm disgusted. Stephen's mom. Let's keep going. We're looking for it. We are looking for it. Oh, I'm sorry. Aki might have messaged me. What interview of who? First interview. Aki not paying attention. Her first interview. Her friend's first interview. This is the second one. Okay. True crime. I don't know. It's looking like Hmm. I think all right, I think it might be in this batch here. Let me see. We're working on it. You know, guys know I don't like dead space, but we're working on it.
Sorry. Okay, so you needed some good sleep. So was it about 11 o'clock?
Yeah. I sent the Stefan's terms. I would. It's 9. I waited in the car line for about 10.
No, this one says interview of Jennifer Soto. That's not the one. What's going on here? Back here. Okay. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to get this for you guys. Anybody have a link? Let me know. You have a link. Somebody says Grizzly has it. If you could get me a link, because I can only look at one thing at a time. If you can get me a link, we'll be so much faster getting to that finish line. I definitely want to listen to it because I want to hear, you know, what this drama is that the parents are upset about. They have every right to be upset if they felt like their child was not treated fairly. I'm not in any way trying to denigrate them for feeling that way, but I want to get to the bottom of it. Let's see here. All right, so Jennifer sees the phone. See here. No commentary. All right, so I think I messed up when I originally looked for it. I was supposed to expand it, and I did. So now let me expand it and see if I can find these interviews. All right, so thanks to Mac the Knife on Web Sleuths, sources. No, these are just sources. Okay, let's keep going. Stern's mom. All right, so okay. Let's see here. Fighting. Maddie had a script for medical marijuana. What stupid thing? Why do you let go and be in there in a single bed with Stefan? Okay. Nine audios. All right, let's open this up. All right, so now I think, let me see here. So this one is Jennifer Soto. We've heard this audio before, but it sounds clearer to me. This is Stefan yawns during the interview. The next one is 8 minutes, 13 seconds. A detective shows Jennifer Soto a bad quality photo on his phone of someone in black shorts and green jacket. It's not that one. The next one, you can tell me what you saw, Maddie. Jennifer is asked. She saw it last time. All right, and it's not that one. This is the famous audio. Cops, Stefan telling cops that Maddie was asleep in the car. Let's keep going. That's not that one. Detective Myra Taggart speak with Jennifer Soto close to midnight about her movement the previous day. Oop, I think that Aki just delivered. Okay, let me email this to myself and get access to it. Give me a second. Let's see here. Give me a second. I think we got it, guys. Okay. All right, let me see. Well, let's see what Aki got. Maybe she got it, maybe she didn't. Let's see. Let's see.
I am.
see here. Interview number 1, 25 years old. Jeff Payne interviewed her on February 29th, school interview. School interview number 2. Talking, Jim wrote, did Maddie make it to school today? She hasn't made it to home today. Italo Brett, don't know what that is. School interview number 4. School interview number 5. Madison Brady. Angela. Nah, that's not it. That's not it, Aki. That's the school interviews. We want the interview that was done with this little girl in her house, and the detective was trying to get her to interview in the car, and the father was not happy about that. Let me read the comments, see if somebody sent me something in the comment section. At Strategic, Gavin Fish has it. Got you, MM Claire, but you didn't give me a link. You didn't give me a link. Let's see. Look up this Gavin guy. Okay. I've never used any of his stuff before, so I hope he's not the type that's going to be upset that I'm playing audio from his channel. I'll certainly give him the credit that he deserves. But trying to search it. Let's see here. Does he have playlists? Gavin Fish has all interviews. Okay. Somebody said I think it was February 27th. Right, but I don't know if it's live streams. Let me see if I can search it here. Aki is a G, nice strategic. Strategics, they are all listed on his actual page. I'm there right now. I'm on his page, and I'm trying to find it. If I can't find it soon, we're just gonna call it a day. I'm not gonna be searching forever. If somebody could get on that page, here is the link. Okay, where's the link? Email it to me. You may not be able to post a link inside of the chat because I think we have links disabled. Email it to me, strategiceyes@gmail.com. Takes 2 seconds to do an email. Email, Aki, I sent the link. Okay, perfect. Let's see here. Got you. Yes. MMK, save the day. Okay. Let's see here.
And
here. Trying to get through his commentary. Oh. Oh, Plunder has it. All right, cool. Aki, stop sending it to me on the app. Send it to email because it's just faster that way. Because I got to email it to myself and all of that. We got it, but he's got a lot of commentary in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Plunders. Big shout out to Gavin, though. I'm sure we will have to use his stuff in the future. Nothing but love. But certainly we want no commentary if possible. So we'll keep that there. And we're about to run through this right now. I appreciate you guys' patience. Thank you so much. I apologize. You guys know
But I left the long dead air in there just so you guys can hear the whole flow of the interview. Thanks so much for
let's see it.
watching. Stay tuned. Obviously, we've got
Big shout out to Rose. Just got your email. Thank you. 1803. You are the woman. Let me go ahead and bring this in. Yeah, we got it. Let's do it. You guys are great. Thank you. Amazing audience. Great job, Aki. Thank you so much. Great job, MMK. Great job. I don't want to say the name because it's an email, so I definitely don't want your real name out there, but you know who you are with an R who showed that love. All right, let's keep going. All right, one more thing. For some reason, Plunder was doing this for a little while. I don't know why she was doing it, but she did it. The background has nothing to do with the audio. This is not Jen Soto being interviewed. This is the 13-year-old friend. So I guess she just put that out there just for, visual stimulation or something. I don't know, but this is not an interview with Jen Soto. This is the 13-year-old friend, the original interview. Just wanted to make sure you guys are clear about that. Let's keep going.
Hi, I'm a Detective Payne with the Sheriff's Office. Let me call. Okay. Yeah, I just need to speak for again.
That's definitely it. He said, this is Detective Payne. Okay, let's keep going.
Should be quick.
No worries. Obviously, I'd like you to pick up my daughter's car. Let's see. So you have kind of crazy rumors, but...
Yeah.
Hey, can you come downstairs? Are you home? Yeah. I didn't know if you would come. Okay, come downstairs for me. There was like a group chat that came, I think a message like half hour ago that said that the picked up in Fort Myers. That he fled.
The investigation's still ongoing.
Yeah.
Obviously, a certain amount of stuff is immediate. So.
Yeah, first of all, this is the thing you get. You get two types of detectives out there, right? And I can hear it in his voice already. And I'm going to focus on what the young lady's saying, but I will have to critique the detective as well. You have two types of detectives. You have personable detectives and you have book detectives. The book detectives, they're usually very good at doing investigations like financial crimes and stuff like that, where they're like looking at numbers. And you have the personable detectives. I like to consider myself a personable detective. One who knows how to talk to people, how to massage people, how to make them feel good, make them feel important. The father is calling his daughter down to talk to you, and he's asking you some questions about the case, just a little bit. Rather than this detective kind of like massage it, make him feel important, give him a little something, whatever. Give him some surface level stuff that means nothing. He hits them with the textbook detective stuff. It's an ongoing case, and we can't talk about things, Where it's like, there's a lot going on. We're trying to get to the bottom of it, man. We really appreciate you allowing us to talk to your daughter. You don't know how helpful this is. Your daughter was a very good friend of Maddie, and her experience is going to help us solve this case, man. She's really a hero, to be honest with you. That's the way you want to talk to this guy. He asks you about the case. You know what? There's a lot I don't know. There's a lot of... If you don't want to tell him any information, you massage him. Hey, listen, this is a massive case. A lot of different detectives are working this case, and we don't all know everything. So there's a lot I don't know. So, there's not really much I can tell you because there's a lot I don't know. But it's how do you say it? How do you approach this person to put them at ease, to make them trust you? Just the first few seconds of this detective talking, he sounds like a robot, but let's keep going.
Obviously, of course, she is the best friend, right? So, gonna talk to her again. Hopefully, nobody else wants to talk to her, but she's been pretty quick. What's wrong with that? Hey, how you doing? I'm Detective Payne. Just call me Jeff. I stopped by school today, talked to a few other friends. Of course, with you.
Talking too fast. Hey, baby, call me Jeff. Hey, baby. Talking too fast. Listen, there needs to be a course on this. A lot of people become detectives because they're just really good cops. But just because you're a really good cop doesn't mean you should be a detective. A detective is a personality. A detective is a way of thinking. A detective is literally, I'll have to say it again, it's a personality trait. It's a whole package that comes together that helps you massage people into giving you the truth. And a lot of people just don't have that. And just because you write a lot of tickets or you got into a shootout or you fought somebody and got hurt, or you're related to somebody, your daddy's the chief, does not mean that you are qualified to actually be a detective. Because being a detective is about being the apex of a people person. The apex of a people person. You have to understand people, you have to know people, but most importantly, you have to love people to be a good detective. And this guy, hey, my name is Jeff. Call me Jeff. Dude, you're talking to a girl that just lost her best friend. You're talking to a little girl that just lost her best friend. Slow down. Hey, soften your voice. Don't talk like a man. You think I talk like this big, brawly, 6'1" man when I'm talking to a white woman who just got raped by a black guy? I'm sorry, I'm not making a race thing. I'm making a human thing, right? I look like the guy that just sexually abused her. She's not racist, but when she looks at me, she's going to get PTSD of the guy who literally 5 hours ago just took advantage of her. So I got to change my disposition. I got to soften myself. I got to say, hey, I'm so proud of you for talking to me right now. I know you've been through a whirlwind of a day. I know that you are experiencing the most trauma most people have ever spent in their entire life, but I got to tell you, number one, I'm proud of you for you taking the time to help me help you get justice. And I'm not going to take a lot of your time. There's going to be a time and a place for us to actually sit down in my office, for us to have this conversation. Right now, I just want to introduce myself to you. I'm going to give you my card. That's my card. I want you to just tell me just very briefly where you were, what time you remember it happened, and I'm going to start my investigation. And then when you're done with the hospital, after you've gotten some rest, I want you to give me a call. If I don't hear from you in a day, I'm going to call you, but hopefully I'll hear from you today. When you're done here and you get home and you get some rest, I want you to give me a call so that we can set up a day and time that you can come into my office and we can sit down in a very controlled environment. Our office is decorated to make you feel safe and comfortable, that we can actually get down to the details of what happened. But I want you to know that I'm proud of you, that you have the courage to speak to me right now. I want you to know I'm going to do everything in my power to get you justice. I believe you, I support you, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make you feel safe and to bring you your power back. That's how you talk to somebody. That little girl just lost her friend, and you talking fast like you about to place a bet at the horses. Slow down. Humanize yourself. Temper your voice. Let that person view you as though you want to be there because you want to do the job, you want to bring them justice, not just like you checking off the boxes. Because it sounds like he's just checking off the boxes to me. Sometimes I have to make my voice sound, hey, what's going on? How you feeling? I got to bring an octave up just to make that person feel comfortable. Because if I talk like this, hey, what's going on? Tell me what happened. That might make them feel intimidated. My ego has to get checked out at that door. I have to do everything in my power to tailor my experience, that person's experience with me, to give them the experience that's suitable to make them feel comfortable to give me the information that they need, or rather that I need to solve the case. So anyway, I just wanted to just throw that out there. It's not long. It's going to be like a couple minutes, I believe. Let's keep going. Hopefully Payne will get a little bit better. I have faith in you, Payne. I hope you do a little bit better. Let's see.
So, do you mind talking to me for a few minutes? Okay. I typically talk to people in my vehicle. I'm parked in that black Chevy. If you want to talk there, I'm sure not going anywhere. It's up to you. I'm not very good in the car by myself. Okay. All right. You mind talking out here? Yeah. All right. That works. Yeah. Dad, you mind going this way? That's a privacy.
Dad, you might go this way so we have some privacy? What the No wonder the dad is pissed off. This guy sounds like an a-hole. Explain to the dad why you would like to speak to her alone. Sympathize with that. Say, hey, Dad, I know that your daughter has been through a traumatic experience. She really loved Maddie. They were really close. We know that so far from our investigation. I know you want to be protective of her. I know you don't know me from Salt. It's your first time meeting me. But this is what I'd like to do. And if you agree with it, I'm very appreciative if you'd agree with the strategy I'd like to employ. If not, then I totally understand, and I'll support whatever decision you make. A lot of times, kids are reluctant to speak about everything they know when their parents are in the room because they might be embarrassed. They might think that You might be disappointed with some of the things they might say. They might feel like you might get upset. So I would like to speak to her alone. If you want, you could be within earshot around the corner. You could probably hear the entire conversation, but just don't show your face so that she can give me all the information that she has so I can help solve the case of her missing friend. Now we know that the friend is dead. Are you willing to support me in that, to help me out with that? That's how you talk to that guy. Hey, can we get some privacy? What do you mean privacy? You can't ask me for privacy with my own kid. That's not the right verbiage, Detective Payne. You're asking for privacy from a father with a 12, 13-year-old girl? No, that's not the right verbiage. Automatically, with just the words that you chose, his protective instincts is going to kick in just based off of your words. Even though your words are well-meaning, words have meanings. Words carry power. Words are things. You said privacy. That's the wrong verbiage. Let's keep going.
Like I said, I'm Detective Payne. You just tell me that. Obviously, you're not suffering. Okay. Sorry that you have to talk to somebody else. I know you talked to Brittany the other day, right? Yeah, she's a partner of mine. So there's a few other follow-up questions that we have to go into. I have your date of birth as. So you're 12, 13. Just turned 13. Okay. So do you know what the difference is between a truth and a lie? What's the difference?
You want to tell me the truth like this.
All right. So that's actually the start of a forensic interview. So you have to ask a child if they know the difference between the truth and a lie. You get some examples, and that's how you are able to qualify that they're able to tell the truth. Somebody said that that if somebody asked them if they could speak to the child alone, that they would be automatic. No, I hear you, but there are some instances where you probably won't have a choice, such as if it's a ACS, what is it, the Child Protective Services. It's a different name in every different state. If they need to be interviewed the child on allegations against you, you're not going to be in a room. That's a fact. But anyway, listen, a lot of people have distrust for law enforcement. I'm law enforcement. I know that whenever I speak to a child, it's always in good faith, and I'm always do a good job and make that child feel comfortable. I have yet to have a parent tell me no, that I can't speak to their child, and I only deal with 13 and up, by the way. There's a child squad that deals with 12 and under. I don't deal with anything 12 and under. That doesn't go to me. That automatically goes to those folks. But when so maybe there might be a different experience with dealing with 12 and under, but 13 and up, so far I've never had a parent tell me, no, you can't speak to the child alone, because I treat the parents with respect. I make them understand the process, and I keep them involved in the process. I tell them about what I spoke about the child with. I make them feel like they are important, and maybe that's why I get the reaction and the outcomes that I get. But anyway, let's keep going.
Saying something that's like back to the rail, and then the other one is like you're making up stuff.
Okay. So if I told you your shirt was black, would that be a truth, or lie, or something else?
True.
And why is that?
Because it is black.
Okay. So can you promise to tell me the truth?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know, like I said, I know you talked to Detective Bradshaw a little bit about everything that's going on. But if you can just kind of give me a summary. How about you call?
I've known since 4th grade.
Never since 4th grade. Okay. Do you think you guys were close? You guys best friends? How do you?
She's my best friend.
Best friend. Okay. Would she say the same thing to you about you? That you guys are best friends? Okay. Okay. Do you think you guys confide?
He's just not a good interviewer of kids. I don't know how he interviews adults. I'm not gonna sum up this guy's whole career with one interview. He's just not a good interviewer with kids. He's not doing a good job. She says that's her best friend, and you ask a question, would she say the same thing about you? I mean, most people would be insulted with that. I'm not saying it's a bad question. I'm just saying, like, all right, she says they're best friends, like, let's keep moving. But anyway, I mean, you could ask that question, but I just don't think it's an appropriate question. But whatever. The way he's talking, his affect, he's talking too fast, his tone, it sounds like he's interrogating a perp. And that's probably what the parent picked up on, and that's why the parent was angry. because he sounds like he's speaking to a criminal and not to a child. But anyway, let's keep going. To a subject, like he's doing an interrogation, not an interview.
Everything in each other. You guys share your secrets. Like there's levels of best friends, right?
We share everything.
Share everything. Yep. Okay. Okay. So, did she ever tell you about anything that was going on at home?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. Like, they'd have arguments, but it was just like arguments. Like, I'll go take her around and she'd be like, no, I don't want to.
Okay. Anything else?
She'd come to PE and she'd be like, I had a fight, like, she'd come and like,
Okay. She ever complain about anything else? Nothing else. Okay. Have you noticed any big changes in her behavior lately?
yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about those. Okay. Polar.
Yeah. She kind of acts bipolar a little bit.
Okay.
She'll have mood swings.
All right, it's hard for me to hear, but we're trying our best. I certainly would have started this interview by saying, you know, what did you like about Maddie? What was the thing about Maddie that made you like her so much? I try to bring her down memory lane, kind of like make her at ease, make her talk about her friendship and how much she cared about Maddie and some of the fun things that her and Maddie would do. You want to ease your way into this stuff, and he's just like going head first into it. I don't know if he has like a time constraint or something. I don't know what's going on with this guy. He might have, you know, yo, we need you to go do this afterwards, so just handle his interview real quick. But definitely the style is off. So far, she said, I think she did also say just now that Maddie can have an attitude at times. Let me just bring it back so we could get that in context. Let's listen to it.
Lie or something else?
True.
And why is that?
Because it is black.
Okay, so can you promise to tell me the truth?
Yeah.
Okay. So I know, like I said, I know you talked to Detective Bradshaw a little bit about everything that's going on. But you can just kind of give me a summary. How about you call? You know.
I'm not since 4th grade.
Never since 4th grade. Okay. Do you think you guys were close? You guys best friends? How do you?
She's my best friend.
Best friend. Okay. Would she say the same thing to you about you? That you guys are best friends? Okay. Okay. Do you think you guys confide everything in each other? You guys share your secrets? Like there's levels of best friends, right?
We share everything.
Share everything. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, did she ever tell you about anything that was going on at home?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot. Like, they'd have arguments, but it was just like arguments. Like, I'll go take her around and she'd be like, no, I don't want to.
Okay. Anything else?
She'd come to PE and she'd be like, I had a fight, like, she'd come and like,
Okay. She ever complain about anything else? Nothing else. Okay. Have you noticed any big
And
changes?
then when you say like a lot of these detectives I find in Florida, I don't know if it's a cultural thing. Remember, you're in a different part of the country, people speak differently, stuff like that. But they all have these I don't know what the word is. Like there's got to be a speech pathologist who's watching this. The word tell is in my head, but that's like more like poker or something like that. Or like detecting deception or something like this when you use the word tell. But they'll have like he said, okay, or the other lady like, do you understand, or is that okay, or something like that. The female detective is very off-putting. It's just like they have to say that to reassure themselves, but it kind of stops the conversation from flowing. You want the conversation to be natural and flow. And that's how people kind of interject and throw in things that you didn't even ask. But this is when you have a flowing, natural conversations, when somebody says, and you know what? I also remember one more thing. If you're stopping the conversation with the, okay, all right, no problem, I got it. And then you ask another question, you're not giving space for somebody to say, yeah, and you know what? I remember on that date, it just dawned on me. This happened on this date, and this happened too. And that's what you're looking for when you're having these type of conversations. You're looking for that natural giving and taking of information. And it just doesn't exist here. I only saw one example of it, and that was with Detective Kevin and the way that he interrogated Jen Soto in the picture that we're watching behind us. And I don't know what it is, because Florida is a very busy state, and this is a very poor community where there's going to be a lot of X crimes and murders and all that stuff. I know that the people that I work with, and we have a lot of experience because of where we work and the volume of cases that we get. So we get to naturally develop this stuff through getting chances at the plate, to bat, But a lot of these guys sound like amateurs, man. I'm not going to lie to you. They sound like amateurs. It sounds like they're watching like Law and Order TV shows and stuff like that. Not like they've been out in the field doing these type of interviews for years, and maybe that's my own bias that I've been doing investigations for 12 years between state corrections and PD. I've been doing sex crimes investigations for 12, 13 years. The rest of that time was me as either a correction officer or me as a patrol officer. But investigative experience, doing interview and interrogation, doing regular interviews, random interviews, whatever you want to call it. Every agency has a different name for them. I've been doing it for pretty much 13 years. So maybe I've been doing it so long, okay, this is why I have this outlook. But these guys don't sound like pros. The only one that sounded like a bona fide pro to me was Detective Kevin. Detective Kevin. Like I told you guys, Detective Kevin, if you're watching this, I would just let me know, reach out via email. I would like to take a couple days off work, fly down to Florida, take you out to lunch. We get some alligator. They got amazing fried alligator down there in Florida. I don't understand why alligator can't make its way up north. And I'd love to treat you to lunch and pick your brain on how you prepare for your interviews because he did an amazing job. But anyway, let's keep going, guys.
Using her behavior lately?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about those. Okay.
So Aki's mad at me. She said I'm all over the place, and she said that I'm analyzing the detective. Who else are we gonna analyze? She said the same thing in the second interview, and we could barely hear her. But anyway, you guys let me know in the chat. Am I all over the place? Because Aki's coming for me. She's coming for me, guys. You guys gonna defend me? Let's keep going.
Yeah, she kind of acts bipolar a little bit.
Okay.
She'll have mood swings.
You talk about.
She takes medicine.
Okay.
She follows the medicine. She has ADHD.
Okay.
Last time I saw her was Sunday. I was at her birthday party. And when I first got there, she was a little upset.
Okay.
And then she was also kind of upset that, like, she didn't get enough presents. She didn't get, like, most of her family wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she didn't get enough presents, money or anything.
Okay.
I guess because she hyped up her birthday party so much, and then when birthday came.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna have to bring that back because I couldn't understand it. So you guys all supporting Aki, screw you. But A Obsidian gave me a $6.99 super Canadian dollar. Says I appreciate you. So her word is worth more than you guys because you guys are on Aki's side for free. Screw you guys. I'm out of here. Anyway, let's keep going. Let me bring it back a little bit because I want to hear what she's saying. Couldn't really understand it.
And she didn't get enough presents, money or anything.
Okay.
I guess because she hyped up her birthday party so much, and then when birthday came.
Okay. Okay. So, talk to me about a big change in her behavior. So, like a long-term change, right? So she's happy for a few weeks, and she's sad for a few weeks. Like, when has that big change happened? So you tell me that she was upset at her birthday party, but it sounds like she had a reason to be, right?
Yeah.
So, was there a big change in her behavior at school that you noticed at school?
Sort of.
Okay. Can you talk to me about that?
Yeah. Valentine's Day was the last time she started, the last time she took her meds.
Okay.
When she's on her meds,
It's so hard to understand what she's saying. All right, so let's keep going. She says she's on her meds.
she's like nice, she's fine, she's caring, she's not snappy at all.
Why did she stop taking them?
I'm guessing because she felt more free.
Okay. Did she tell you that, or?
No.
Okay.
That's the thing. There's a lot of speculation here. She's like she's guessing because she felt more free. Remember, when you're talking to kids are gonna fill in the blanks a lot with how they feel. So Madeline never said I stopped taking my meds because I felt free. That would be huge. If Madeline said Stefan is no longer living here and I stopped taking my meds because I felt free, that's huge. But Madeline never said that. So keep that in mind, guys. She never said that. And the little girl just admitted as much as well. But we have to be careful because we're balancing between a child speaking as a child speaks, which is to add in their feelings to fill in the blanks. So you're going to ask them questions and they're going to give you the facts to the best of their abilities, but they're also going to be interjecting with their own feelings. They're not just going to give you facts, guys. And it's important for us to realize that. Let's keep going.
She didn't tell you why she stopped taking them?
No.
Okay.
She would say that she forgot them, that she forgot to take them.
Okay. Do you know exactly what she was on?
No.
Oh, no, it's
Other than her ADHD.
just ADHD? Okay.
And then when she's off her meds, which she has been lately, she's very snappy.
Okay.
All right, I got that. She said when she's off her meds, she's very snappy. I got that. Let's keep going.
She gets mad at stuff that I would do or that anyone else would do.
Okay.
When she was off her meds.
Did she ever talk to you about being depressed or wanting to hurt herself or anybody else?
I knew she went through a phase where she was very depressed.
Okay.
And she had a hard time getting out of it.
When was that?
She never told me when it was. She just
Okay. She just told you I was depressed, or
yeah.
Okay. You don't recall being around her during that depression? Okay. How about suicide? She ever mentioned suicide, wanted to hurt herself or anybody else?
No.
Okay. I know she,
Oh, her crush. She's had a crush on him since like the beginning of school year.
Okay. Did anything ever come of it?
All right, so now they're talking about the crush. They didn't talk about the crush in the second interview, so this is big because they didn't cover this in the second interview. So let's go back just a tad bit. She said, oh, and the crush. And that's what you want. You want people to throw things in there themselves. Oh, I remember this. Oh, this happened. Let's keep going.
You don't recall being around her during that depression? Okay. How about suicide? She ever mentioned suicide, wanted to hurt herself or anybody else?
No.
Okay. I know she,
Oh, her crush. She's had a crush on him since like the beginning of school year.
Okay. Did anything ever come of it?
She asked him for his number and he said yeah.
Okay.
She would always text him.
You said text him or sext him?
Text.
It sounded like she said sext him, but I guess she corrected herself as text. All right, let's keep
Text
going.
him, okay.
She would always text him and call him sometimes. He really isn't phone.
Okay.
He would never text her back.
Okay. Has she had any other boyfriends? No? She showed interest in any other guys?
She had a boyfriend before.
Okay.
She recently got out of a relationship not too long ago.
Okay.
He didn't go to our school. We got
So she did have relationships. So she says she recently got out of a relationship. So she did have little boyfriends at school, which is good and healthy. All right. But I could that have added to the jealousy that Stefan Stearns was experiencing? Because I do believe, regardless of whether the pregnancy theory is a viable theory, a theory that we've been exploring for a very long time on this channel, I also believe that jealousy played a factor into this child's murder. Stefan Stearns was a man in arrested development. We spoke about that before. He was a man child. He would have viewed Maddie equally. He would have viewed the little boys in Maddie's school as equal competition against him. He's that sick and deranged, in my opinion. He is that sick and deranged. So yes, this is interesting. Let's keep going.
our school. He broke a kid's elbow.
What's his name? Know what his last name is?
No.
Do you know where he goes now? White kid, black kid? Have you ever met him?
I met him once.
Okay. Is he your age? Younger? Older?
Same age.
Same age? Okay, so he'd be in 7th grade?
He's either 12 or 13.
Okay. You said he got expelled for breaking your kid's elbow?
This is interesting. Aki just sent this to me on our chat. I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting, this theory that she put out there. Let me know what you guys think about it inside the comment section. So Aki said, what if Maddie got mad at the gift Stefan gave her, which was a hand-me-down from his mom, and she probably was mad and calling him cheap, then he killed her? It's possible. It was a hand-me-down. Remember, it was some jewelry that the mother had bought for herself, but then she decided it wasn't her style. It was a little too juvenile for her. And then she gave that gift to Stefan Stearns to give to Maddie for her birthday. And then we also see that Maddie was upset with her friend, that her friend didn't bring her gifts. She was visibly upset. She was upset with her family, allegedly that her family didn't give her any gifts, that her friends didn't show up to her party. She was in a really bad mood. She was in a really bad mood. And she wasn't really on her medication like that either. Says the friend. She stopped taking her medication on the regular like she was supposed to. So a lot of things going on in Madeline Sotos' head. Did she come at Stefan Stearns wrong to the point where he snapped and killed her? I don't know. It's like, it's such a big leap. Understand, as horrendous ex-abuse is, there is still a large leap between abusing somebody's body for your own personal gratification and killing them. Is it a far leap? It's not. Two depraved minds, but it's still a leap. They don't go hand in hand. Most ex assaults do not result in murder, even violent ones. The people who are exercising that evil on another person have no intention of killing them. There's a leap there. What would make him jump to that other side of being a murderer? All theories are good at this point because we just don't know. The only person who knows is Stefan's Michael Stearns. That's the only person that knows right now, and maybe Jen Soto, but there's no evidence of that. So let's keep it moving.
Okay.
She had another boyfriend.
Was he?
Yes.
Did any of these boyfriends ever amount to anything? Were they just hand-holding and just nothing more than that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm pausing real quick just to say this. This is my issue with all of these theories, including my theories. This is my issue, and then we'll go back to the recording very quickly. My issue is, why wasn't there any noise? If it was an argument, if it was a disagreement, if it was an insult and there was anger, why wasn't there any noise? All of the roommates were home that night, and Jen Soto was downstairs sleeping. Why wasn't there any noise? That's my problem. You didn't have Maddie crying out, screaming for bloody murder, struggling, knocking things off of the table. If he's choking her, he can't choke her and hold her hands down at the same time. Why wasn't there any noise? Somebody just said in the chat, maybe Jenny's Wonderland said, drugged her. That seems like a plausible reason for there not being any noise, that she was drugged. But there was no argument beforehand that anybody can witness to say, well, they argued before and then he drugged her and then he killed her in the sleep while she was sleeping, or drugged out or incapacitated because of the drugs. The lack of noise is something that boggles my mind, ladies and gentlemen. This was a full house of adults, and even possibly a minor was there too. The son, don't quote me on that. The son may or may not have been there that night, but we had a full complement of adults in that house. At least 4 adults, and if you minus Stefan Stearns, 3 adults. Jen and her 2 roommates, and possibly the son of the roommate was there as well. Nobody heard anything, ladies and gentlemen. So I just don't understand how that was possible if there was arguing, if there was a disagreement. But let's keep going. Most likely it was drugs. So maybe we've answered our own question. Most likely it was drugs, but we'd never know until we get that toxicology. Let's keep going.
It was a long distance, and with David, it was all through text.
Okay. So did she ever talk to you about anybody else? Okay. So she never talked to you about anything else that was going on at home? Yeah, you mentioned that. I've gotten that from a few other people.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm trying to recall, but I don't think she mentioned anything else at home or anything other than her fighting. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Big shout out to Tori with $20 super chat. Says, don't come for me, but if I saw my child, in this case grandchild, lashing out at her friend being mean, I'm going to pull her aside and figure out what the issue is, because that isn't acceptable. Maybe grandma would learn more. That's true. I mean, $20 super chat. Thank you so much for being so generous, Tori. We really appreciate it. That makes a lot of sense. I would do the same thing, because that's a life lesson for that child, to not abuse your friends and not to push people away. Because, of course, if she continued with that type of behavior as she got older, and we know that that behavior was happening because she was a victim of trauma, so we're giving her grace. But if, regardless of whether it's trauma or whatever, if it wasn't Maddie, it was just somebody who just acted that way, that type of behavior pushes people away and you end up being isolated. So as a parent, you would want to get to the bottom of that type of behavior so that your child would not grow up to be the type of person who would be self-isolated because nobody wants to be around this reticent type of person. So I 1000% agree with you, and that's a really good statement, but it just falls in line with the other show that we did, all the missed opportunities in this case. It just falls as another one on the list of all the missed opportunities in this case. Let's keep going.
Okay. Did you guys follow each other on social media?
I'm not allowed to have them.
Okay.
The only thing I have is her YouTube shorts and
Is hers or yours?
hers.
Hers. Can I see those? You follow her on YouTube, is that what you said?
Yes.
YouTube Shorts? How often did you go?
Every single weekend.
Every single weekend? Okay.
Big shout out to Olevi Oracle 199 super chat. Says, please check your email if you can. I will do that right now. We may have to go back, because sometimes when I'm checking the emails, I miss things on the audio. We got to go back, but I definitely want to check that email. So let's keep going.
Did you have anybody else that lived there? If you want to still work on those videos. Thanks.
I met Stephen once or twice. I met him once and I shook his hand and then he said hello to me.
Stephen is... You said you only met him once?
I only met him once.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just going to kind of look through these real quick. Is that okay?
She said she was going to show her face at 200 subs.
She was going to what? I'm sorry?
Show her face at 200 subs.
At 200 subs, okay. Did she ever make any other content?
I don't know. She has Discord, which is a streaming thing where you can go live. I don't know if she's ever gone live though.
Do you have her Discord?
I think so. I don't know if she's down.
Okay. You mind re-download it for me?
Can I just like grab a charger?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so people are saying that, and I think I heard this, that I remember the interviews. We didn't cover the roommates interviews that much because they were in Spanish, and it was very annoying to like kind of like listen to the translations and stuff. And some people were saying that the officer's translation wasn't that good, but I do remember one of the roommates saying that they heard noises that night, a thud or something to that effect. Once again, I mean, people like to mind their business, but if you know that Jen Soto is downstairs and that you know that Maddie usually sleeps with this guy and you hear thuds and stuff, one would imagine that you would knock on the door and just see if everybody's okay. It's quite possible Maddie was being killed at that time when those thuds were happening. Very, very sad stuff. I got the email. I'll address the email. I got multiple emails. I don't know who came from who, but we'll address the emails at the end of the show before we get out of here. I just don't want to stop the show and go backwards because some of it was addressing things that we've addressed in the beginning of the show. Let's keep going.
I saw it was low, but if you don't mind plugging it in so we can try to get Discord downloaded. Okay.
Every single morning she would wake up and she'd be like, hey, good morning, and then she would send me like a bunch of like Instagram reels or like YouTube shorts.
Okay.
Monday morning she did not.
Okay.
Even if she were like sick or something or she were to oversleep, she would still text me in the morning.
Okay. So that was always.
That was always.
Okay.
She would always text me in the morning and stuff. Monday morning I thought it was suspicious that she didn't, but when she oversleeps, that's the only time she doesn't.
Okay.
But she'll still text me like when
she gets up.
She'll wake up.
Okay.
And then when I got off the bus and like I turned on my phone and she didn't text me, I was like, okay, something's up.
Okay. Did you reach out to her at that point? Or?
I called her.
You called her? Okay. Did she answer? Or? Okay. You said that you met once?
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? I'm sorry.
Stefan. That's what they called him.
Okay. Do you have any pictures with Stefan, anything like that? You guys going out and doing things, just casual pictures, anything?
I had two pictures of him that
Okay.
I had tried to find last night.
Okay.
Whenever he was arrested.
Uh-huh.
I went through all of our text messages, all of our photos,
Yeah.
videos, and every like group chat or anything, but it was like completely like erased.
Couldn't find them?
I couldn't find them.
Okay.
My phone's streaming, sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so he had sent me like two pictures of him.
Mm-hmm. What was he doing in those?
Just looks like she took a screenshot from my FaceTime that he didn't know.
Okay.
All right, I think it's almost over soon. Guys, please help me get to 400 likes at least. Oh, we're at 400. Great. Now let's get over to 500. You know, see how the bar keeps going forward. Please hit that like button, support the channel, guys. We really appreciate the support. Let's keep going.
Did she ever send anything else of him? Anything else? Okay. Did you ever see anything else of hers? Did she ever send you pornography, anything like that? No? Okay. Did she ever send you any pictures of herself that were pornographic or of anybody else? No? Okay.
She would send a picture, but it wouldn't go past like right here.
Okay. Of herself or of somebody else?
Of herself.
Of herself. Okay.
This is her Discord.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go through.
Taking pictures. I think he's taking pictures of her phone or something like that.
He said, or she. I'm sorry. She says in this message that she.
Susie's out of here. She's in Australia. It's 5 a.m. over there. Have a great rest. Thank you for coming and joining the show. We really appreciate our international audience. Thank you so much, Susie. Let's go back just a tad bit.
He said, or she. I'm sorry. She says in this message that she can't be on because that is there. Do you recall her saying that? Okay. I guess did she ever not hang out with you, whether online or in person, to see him?
He visited her
True
when
crime.
he'd move out. He like spent a day with her once, and then we were supposed to hang out that day, and she canceled because he came, and she was starting to hang out with his phone.
Okay. Your mom seems to think you need to show me some other message between you and somebody else. She just texted you when I was on there, so
See, the mother's like super cooperative. I love it. Mothers are very cooperative. Big shout out to Luke the Duke, who's watching out of Costa Rica. Hope you're having a great time out there. Yeah, so mothers are very cooperative. I love working with mothers when it comes to these type of cases.
popped up.
Every mother but Jen Soto, that is. But that goes without being said. Let's keep going.
This is when it starts to just slow down.
Okay. Did you show this to Brittany the other day?
I did not show it to Brittany.
You did not? Okay.
I showed it to Debbie.
Yeah, I didn't know this interview was this long. We're already at 2 hours and change. Let me see if we can speed this up a little bit.
So, what do you think? What do you think she went? What do you think happened?
I think she was scared that something was going to happen, or I think she was scared of.
Crime audio.
I think she wanted to get away from that, and he like threatened her. That way she'd tell anybody. That way she didn't really tell me, or she know I would told someone, told my parents or something.
Okay.
Hard to hear what she's saying. Big shout out from Christina from Slovakia, man. We are definitely international on this show. Amazing. Slovakia. Let's keep going.
Was she a virgin?
Yes.
She was? Okay.
So he asked the question so flippantly like that, like, once again, I mean, Aki doesn't like when I, critique the detectives like that, but come on, man. Was she a virgin? Like, come on, use better terminology. Like, hey, I know it's kind of personal and sometimes it's a little embarrassing. I always preface what I say, by any chance, would you know, was she sexually active? Was she experimenting with sex or anything like that? Hey, was she a virgin? Like, so archaic. Like, this is like 1790. Is she pure? 1500s. We're going to sacrifice her to the gods. Is she really a virgin, or the gods will be mad at us? Like, no, don't talk like that. You're talking to a little kid, and even though kids probably talk like that, they're talking to a detective. They're very nervous. They're traumatized. She's traumatized. Soften the blow. And that's probably why the father was upset. Let's keep going.
So, did she ever ask you to keep any secrets for her? No? Okay. Did she ever tell you anything that she implied was a secret?
Other than her likeness.
Nothing more than that. Okay. Did you guys ever have any explicit conversations about sex? Okay.
She would text me like
I would reiterate that you're obviously not in trouble or anything. Anything you tell me is in confidence. This isn't going to go to the school or your parents or anything. Okay?
Right. So Juliana says, an adult, I'd be annoyed if someone softened the blow, but you're right. As a child, don't be asking them if they are flat out a virgin. And of course, it goes without being said. When I'm speaking to an adult, especially sometimes when I'm speaking to members of the LGBTQIA community, especially if I'm speaking to a guy, I'll tell them like, hey, listen, I'm a pro. I've been doing this for a long time. You don't have to be shy. Talk how you talk. Say, I can't even say it on YouTube because you got to soften the blow for YouTube, otherwise they'll do you dirty. But I'll tell them like, don't be afraid. Like, tell me what happened. Tell me what you did. Don't think that I'm going to judge you or anything like that. So adults are a different animal. Adults, you want to make them comfortable to speak how they want to speak. But of course, when you're dealing with children, it's a different story. You have to approach it differently than when you're speaking to an adult. But let's keep going.
Yeah.
that's not what she said.
What'd she say?
News, you guys had said that if you guys had on the news, you guys had said that if you guys said that when she turned 13 she'd go in the woods.
Yeah.
That's not what she said.
What'd she say?
She said if World War III break out,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're aware of that.
And then if she was 13, she'd go and leave the house and never come back.
Is that what you're looking for?
No, she sent me like something weird. But it's like not with her.
What was it?
It was something like dirty, like it was like a picture.
What was it?
It was she drew something on paper.
Okay.
It was weird, and it you're the person who interviewed me had
Brittany.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany has it. That's okay.
She would also on call, like she'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this." Like me and him were together.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware of that, yes. She'd ever confided anything in you personally, though? Okay. About anybody she might have been in a relationship with? Do you think she might have been in a physical relationship with?
No, she was always so obsessed with it.
Okay.
It wouldn't seem like she was.
Even before she had...
Then it was.
Then it was... So, never anybody else? Did she ever come to school with bruises or anything?
That you know of.
That you know of?
Other than like makeup around her eyes.
Okay. Did she come to school with makeup around her eye and you asked her and she said it was bruised or no?
She'd come with like red eyeshadow like under her eyes.
Okay.
It would look like she'd been crying. And she'd be like, I'm not just makeup.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of house or apartment these folks are living in. I hope those windows are open, because if the windows are closed and it's that noisy in that house, I don't even know if you would call the health department. I mean, the building department. You might need to call the health department. I mean, that would make anybody go insane. Like, where are they? Are they outside? Are they on a deck or something? Like, wow, it is constantly noisy in that house, because we have this interview, and then the second interview, which we reviewed and analyzed in the beginning of this live, it's super noisy then. So is there a time when it's not noisy in this place? That's insanity. Like, it's so noisy in this place. I can't hear anything.
Had she gotten her period? She had? Is that something that you two would discuss?
She told me she got hers because mine was like 2 days after.
Would she tell you every month that she got it? Okay.
It's pretty much just the easiest that
You said you're typically 2 days after? Was there ever a time when it was irregular? When, it came early for her or it was late for her?
Yeah, last month was late.
I'm sorry, you said
Last month.
Last month it was late?
Audio.
Yeah, this department also has an issue with strategy. You can't always assign female detectives. Certainly not, because there's just not that many of them in police departments. But we know that there's a female detective that was conducting a lot of interviews in this case. And we know that Detective Payne and that female detective are not the lead detectives in this case. If I'm the squad supervisor who's kind of like divvying up who goes where, or even if they're just figuring it out amongst each other, it would probably make more sense to send a female detective to do this interview with this child as compared to a male detective, especially if you know that your strategy is going to be asking her very personal questions, such as her menstrual cycle, her and Maddie's menstrual cycle, because he's asking about both, really. Sexual intercourse, if Maddie's a virgin or not, stuff like that, especially if you aren't going to approach it in a very empathetic way. If you are a flat person, because he seems very flat to me in the way that he asks his questions, or monotone, he has like one style of talking, it would probably make more sense to send a female detective. Now, that's not always possible, because most of my interviews are done by me. Most, okay? But when you have a massive case like this and you have multiple detectives assisting because it's that big of a case, maybe a little strategy should be employed as to who does what type of interviews, because depending on what type of person you send to what type of interview, you might get a whole lot more out of that interview. I think a female detective would have been a whole lot more effective interviewing this little girl than this particular male detective. Even if you look at the last interview, the second one, which is the first one we reviewed, the male detective, he was much more empathetic and they had much more of a safe and comfortable interview where the little girl didn't seem as embarrassed as she sounds like she's embarrassed right now while she's interviewing this guy. So that shows you a male can do these type of interviews. He did it. He did a decent job. But this guy was not the right guy to do this interview with this little girl. He's probably an excellent detective, probably got accolades, whatever. but that doesn't mean that you are a Swiss Army knife and you can fit every single situation. Just my perspective and my observation from listening to this interview so far. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me. Let's keep going.
Do you remember what she said?
I got she didn't say anything. She was like, "Oh, I haven't gotten mine yet," or anything. Like, I haven't had cramps or anything like that. They would show a sign of a period. And then, like, after like a week, I was on mine. And then
Okay.
2 weeks after, she got hers.
Okay, so she did end up getting it. It was just late. Okay. You said it was 2 weeks, though.
So around 2 weeks.
Oh, somebody made a good point in the chat. Somebody said they needed social workers to work with them. And I got to say this. There are times that I would interview a child 13 and up, but 90% of the time, I don't interview them. I just want to be clear about that too, because what you said is very true. 90% of the time, I don't interview them. 90% of the time, forensic interviews are done by social workers at the child advocacy centers that we have. Because you want to get somebody who is trained, who is empathetic, and who has a grasp on human psychology to do these type of interviews with kids so that you don't re-traumatize them. So there are times that I will interview them, but those are actually few and far between, because 90% of the time, those interviews are going to be done at the Child Advocacy Center by a forensic interviewer who is most often a social worker or a therapist. If I was running this case, I would not be interviewing this child. I would definitely have told her parents to bring her to the Child Advocacy Center, and she would have been interviewed by a forensic interviewer who is a therapist. That's what I would have done. So I think that's a really good point that you made, but maybe they don't have those resources in Florida, and they don't have those policies, and hence, you know, we got Detective Payne painfully getting through this interview. Let's keep going.
Did you have a conversation about that? About what could have caused that? Did she show any concern about being pregnant?
True crime audio.
Did she say that she explicitly wasn't? I know you said that she was a virgin, but if she missed her period, did it come up again? And she reiterate that she could not have been pregnant, or no? You don't know? Okay.
All right, so how can we listen to this interview, ladies and gentlemen? This is huge right here. How can we listen to this interview and not believe that pregnancy is a viable theory? Did she show any concern of being pregnant? This is what Rose wrote. That's the quote that she put from this guy. We're going to bring it back too. But how can we listen to this interview for all the naysayers out there, the people who are upset with Strategic for having this pregnancy theory? How can you listen to this interview with this detective interviewing Maddie's best friend and listen to the amount of times that he has asked her about pregnancy in different ways, almost as though he was trying to catch her in a lie? Because that line of questioning is accusatory. She gave an answer, but you keep asking her the same question in different ways. It's almost like he's trying to trap her up in a lie. How can you listen to this detective interviewing this girl, listen to other detectives interview Jen Soto, listen to the second interview of this little girl that we covered in the beginning of this live where he asks about her menstrual cycle again, and not believe that the police are zeroing in on a motive that includes either pregnancy or the thought of pregnancy? How can we see them waste our tax dollars and our time asking this 13-year-old girl who has been traumatized by her friend's death if she thought her friend was pregnant, and not believe that it is a viable theory that the Strategic Eyes Show has been putting out there since day one? If you can't accept that it's a possibility that they are thinking that that is a motive, you should not be listening to true crime. You are blinded by emotions. You are allowing your heart to guide you to the truth, and your heart will never guide you to the truth. The only thing that guides you to the truth is facts. Facts. That's it. Pure, unadulterated facts. And facts are painful. Facts hurt. Facts are uncomfortable, but facts equal truth. They keep coming back to pregnancy, ladies and gentlemen. And like I tell you guys, every single time we say the word pregnant, it's either she was physically pregnant or they thought she was pregnant. Either way, the motive is pregnancy. Let's keep going.
You don't know if it was talked about or you...
Kind of period. And then, like, after like a week, I was on mine. And
Okay.
2 weeks after, she got hers.
Okay, so she did end up getting it. It was just late. Okay. You said it was 2 weeks, though.
So around 2 weeks.
Did you have a conversation about that? About what could have caused that? Did she show any concern about being pregnant?
True crime audio.
Thank you, Cozy Constellation. And then the pregnancy coins. The parent coins. Flip the coin. Whoever wins has to do the job for the baby. That's what that coin is for. Time to change diaper, flip the coin. Whoever loses is the one that has to change the baby's diaper. The facts are right in your face, ladies and gentlemen. Those breadcrumbs is right in your face. Whether you want to follow the breadcrumbs or not is your own business. But those breadcrumbs are there.
Did she say that she explicitly wasn't? I know you said that she was a virgin. But if she missed her period, did it come up again? And she reiterate that she could not have been pregnant, or no? You don't know? Okay. You don't know if it was talked about, or you...
I don't think it was.
Okay. Is there anything else you think I need to know?
Other than this, it's weird how she called me and was like, hey, or like, but then I was confused because she told my dad the same thing.
That what?
That she dropped her off, not.
Shut the off.
Yeah, and she didn't say anything about
True crime
not
audio.
even one mention. And then she seemed really calm like every single time I would talk to her on the phone or anything. She wouldn't be like freaking out or anything.
Is there anything else you think I need to know? Okay. Are you aware of what's going on? Have you seen the news and stuff about how Stephen, about how he was arrested and stuff? Okay, you're aware of what he was charged with? What was your reaction when you read that?
All right, before she gives her reaction, big shout out to Christine Hawkins. Pregnancy would be motive. $10 super chat, by the way. My apologies. Appreciate your generosity. It's very kind of you. It's a lot of money. Pregnancy would be motive for him to strangle to cause death of baby while Maddie was drugged. Yeah, makes sense, right? Appreciate you. Let's keep going. Thank you. I agree 1,000%. We've been saying that on the show for a while now.
Shocked.
Shocked. Okay. Why exactly? Was it just because you never thought it could happen? Like, what was the cause?
Like weird signs.
True crime audio.
Not that he would like touch her weird or anything like that.
Okay, so what kind of weird signs did you get?
He has like limited. That crossed my mind. That thought crossed through my mind.
Okay. When was that?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. So, before or after you saw the news? Before you saw the news.
Before I saw that he was.
Okay. The thought crossed your mind that he was doing something with her, or?
That he would probably do something.
Okay.
All right, so she's saying that she got the feeling before she saw the news that he was arrested that he was doing something to her. Big shout out to Juliana with $4.99 super chat. She says, in your experience, is it possible to ask for a female detective instead during an interview? You can't really ask for a specific gender of a detective because there just aren't many female detectives, and usually there's a way that cases are given out, and if everybody asks for a female in sex crimes, you have majority males doing sex crimes investigations, and if everybody asks to speak to a female detective, then the female detectives will have the brunt of the caseload, and the guys like myself would just be hanging out chilling without investigating anything. So you can't really ask specifically, but it's the job of the detective to make you comfortable, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard because I do it every single day. Every single day I get a new case, I will meet somebody who's in a state of trauma, who's just been victimized, most often by a man. And it's my job not to just get the facts and say, well, what happened? Before I get there, to make the person feel safe and trusting that I'm capable of empathizing with them and doing the job just as good as if a female was there. And I got to tell you, some of the best detectives, sex crimes detectives, are men. And that's not saying that women can't do the job. Some great female detectives, but it's just more men than females. So I am exposed to more male detectives that are just stellar at what they do. And so you should never feel like I need to get a female because it makes me feel more comfortable. I mean, you can't help how you feel, but just know that a male detective will get the job done, and the brunt of the work that's being done out there is being done by male detectives. Why? Because there are more men in law enforcement, and therefore you're going to have more male detectives in these spaces. So I don't know if you can request one. That might also come down to an agency-specific thing. Maybe in a specific agency you can request that, but there's just not that many female detectives out there to meet that demand. Big shout out to Laurie Springbird, who is a Strategic Eyes recruit. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, becoming a recruit. And H. Sin with a $4.99 super chat says, keep it going, keep it up. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's keep going. I think we're close to the end of it, and I got to get out of here because I got to get ready for skydiving, indoor skydiving. So got to get my daughters, got to make that move. So let's get through this.
Why exactly?
Because they were really close. Like, me and my dad are close, but not like we'll be on FaceTime.
Okay.
And stuff. Like, that was like close.
Did you ever ask her about it?
No.
About the relationship, or why they were so close, or make any jokes about them being close? No?
I asked her why, like, I was like, oh, it's so cool how you.
Yeah.
Because they were really close. And she was. Yeah, we're like being on like FaceTime is like a lot. She's like, yeah, we're really close and stuff. Like, she's been there for me and stuff. So.
Okay. Are you aware of the sleeping situation in that household? Okay. How about, she has her own room there, right?
It doesn't, well, like, sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
They come with the loft and like got and like made like a bedroom out of that. Made like got like 2 room dividers.
Okay.
And that was her room.
Did she ever talk about anybody sleeping in her room with her? Okay.
Other than her going with when she was sick.
About when she would go in the room when she was sick.
Yes.
Okay. So she never talked about him getting into bed with her or anything like that?
No.
Would you ever sleep over at her house?
I had asked my parents if it's a no.
Okay.
But they ended up saying no.
Okay.
But that's before Stephen. That's after Stephen moved out.
Okay. Why did he move out?
I didn't know, but
Do you know when he moved out?
a couple months ago.
A couple months ago? You said you don't know why?
I had asked her if she could answer my question.
Okay. Anything else you think I need to know? Okay. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I'm sure Brittany told you the same thing, but nobody knew her better than you, right? So, it's unfortunate that it seems like not even you knew everything that was going on in her life, right? So, and we're just trying to figure out what all happened. And if this was, she asked you to keep a secret or something, you know, obviously you're not in trouble, you know, she is certainly not in trouble. We just need to know about when people became aware about what happened. You know, if this is something that, you know, it's happened before, that's why I ask. Is, you know, you think you're keeping a secret for somebody, and you are, and you do what they ask, right? But when people go missing, we just need to understand.
Yeah, so somebody in the chat says this is the part where he starts sounding accusatory, and it does sound like he's sounding accusatory. I think a lot of times with these detectives, first of all, they said a few things that I didn't like. Like, hopefully this is the last time, this will be the only time I speak to you or something to like. Never tell that to a person, especially when it comes to kids. They should have done multiple interviews with this little girl. Speak to her, get a little bit, give her a break. Explain that to the parents too so that they're expecting it. Like, hey, we're going to do multiple interviews because we don't want to bombard her at one time. Space them out. Speak to her. Get some information. Bring her back. Clarify some stuff. It seems like he wants to get everything this one shot, and you're not always going to get everything one shot. Sometimes talking to victims, you have to get the story multiple times before you finally get to the whole truth. And it's not even that they were being deceptive, is that their memory is being selective or the trauma is blocking things out, etc. You can never expect that you're going to get everything in one shot. And with him giving this preamble about being honest and keeping secrets and all that stuff, it does seem like he's being accusatory, and he's kind of accusing a little girl of holding a secret and not being completely forthcoming. And based off of what she said so far, I find her to be very credible, that she's pretty much telling everything that she knows. But unfortunately, you know, this guy is like pretending like, you know, he has facts that this little girl is lying. I really don't understand what's happening here. I think he needs to handle her with a little bit more care. Let's keep going.
When this became aware,
Yeah,
right?
thinking about like her like running away or anything.
Yeah. So, what was going on at home is something that obviously nobody your age should have to deal with, and it was something that she was having to deal with. And I find it hard to believe that she didn't confide in anybody. Not even her best friend.
Oh, I think this is the guy. His voice sounds the same. Somebody said it in the chat. Pink Diamond says, isn't he the same detective that did the awful interrogation of Stefan? Yeah, I think he is the guy who was like, I don't know. Should I be talking to a lawyer? And he did the Scooby-Doo. I know. Remember that? Oh, I think this is the same guy. Let's keep going. Okay, makes perfect sense. Yep, same dude, same strategy, same terrible interrogation skills. Let's keep going.
I don't know if this is true or not. I don't agree with it. I think Stephen put a threat and then not say anything to anyone, because she would have told me.
Yeah.
Whether she was scared about telling it to my parents.
Yeah.
So
Maybe.
All right, big shout out to Kimberly Fine with a $4.99 super chat. She says, I hope you do call-ins at the end of the stream. Just had a stringing of realizations in the working pregnancy that really line up. P.S. Love the show. Unfortunately, I won't be able to because I don't have time. I'm really just wishing this would end right. I'd like to end this right now, but I don't want to end it without playing the whole video because I have to get ready for my daughter's birthday outing, her pre-birthday outing. So unfortunately, we don't have time for a call-in show.
But in my experience, it tends to come out anyway. So, okay. Everything you said was true and correct. I certainly appreciate taking time again, so we can go back to that.
All right, perfect. Perfect. That's it. That's the end of it. Let me bring it back to me and close the show up. This is crazy. I mean, you know, Aki doesn't like when I take the time to like focus on the detectives, but they really did a terrible job. You know, they really did a terrible job. A lot of them, not all of them. Some of them did national level, like top in the nation interrogation jobs. Detective Kevin, he did an immaculate job. He did an amazing job. His skills were top tier, and some of them are just very pedestrian. None of them were incredibly bad, but they were very pedestrian. Just very like run-of-the-mill, you know, not much skill, not much talent, interrogation techniques. It is what it is, you know? So, I mean, we give it and we as we see fit. We give praise when praise is worthy, and we critique when it's time to critique. And since people's lives are in the balance, I think it's perfectly okay to critique these folks because they're not out there flipping a burger for you or something. They're solving sex crimes and murders. And shouldn't you deserve to have the best? Shouldn't you? Shouldn't you have people that you feel are qualified and are up to the task of solving these cases? I think you should. And every professional should be willing to get critiqued. When a surgeon does surgery, sometimes there's other surgeons who are observing it and they critique afterwards. They have that decompression. They say, well, you could have done this better. You could have did that better. Oh, you did a great job on this. That's what being a pro, that's part of being a pro, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from when I sometimes focus on these guys, because guess what? You know what? What they're doing matters. Matters to all of our safety out there. And you can't know that you need to do better unless somebody tells you you need to do better. And, you know, based off of what I do and where I work and my qualifications, I have the qualifications to have this conversation with these pros. That being said, you guys are awesome. I really enjoyed the time that we spent with each other. I think it was cool. I think we learned a lot from these interviews. And I think the biggest thing that we're going to take away from this is that pregnancy is out there. And it's viable. And it's a worthy theory. And thank God, if the facts prove that pregnancy did not happen and they didn't even think she was pregnant, and that's just a theory and it's a bad theory, and we move on. Thank God for Maddie, that's one less thing she had to endure. But it is a honest and a viable theory to have until we could prove or disprove it based off of the facts that we have right now in our face. I want to thank everybody who sent me a super chat. You were very generous today, and I do appreciate it. I want to thank everybody who joined me today on this live stream. I want to give a big shout out to all of the members who are currently in the chat, supporting the channel. Everybody who's in the chat actually typing and giving me that engagement, having these conversations. You guys are awesome. You guys are helping the channel grow bit by bit. We are working our butt off trying to get this channel to grow bit by bit. I want to give a big shout out to Aki and Erica and all of my moderators who've made the live today. Please know you're appreciated. You guys see the hard work that they're doing, keeping that chat clean. If you want to support those moderators, please send them some coffee. I don't get anything of that. I don't get a piece of that. None of it. Simply for the moderators. The moderators are volunteering their time. They're not paid. If you want to show them some love, it's Christmas time. Let them buy a little trinket for their kids, a little trinket. Play that electricity bill because it's cold as hell up here in the Northeast. You got to keep that heater on all night long. Please show love to the moderators. The link is inside of the chat. Give them some coffee. That being said, we have a membership. We have a lot of members inside of the room. They can attest to you how good the membership is, that they're enjoying it, that they get a lot of perks out of the membership. We also have the Patreon. We drop a lot of videos on the Patreon, videos that we can't put on YouTube without getting banned, without getting a strike and all that good stuff. I already got one strike from posting a video that I shouldn't have posted on YouTube because YouTube is a PC zone. It is not a free speech zone. It is a very PC zone, all right? It's all about feelings on YouTube. So if you post the wrong thing on YouTube, the YouTube gods will punish you. That's why we have a Patreon. So we can post things on the Patreon that we can't post on the YouTube. That being said, I'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Let me cue up that outro. I keep forgetting. Peace.
Thank you.